Welcome to Baker's channel where stories unfold, covering trials, dramas untold. Grab your seat, settle in, start the show. Courtroom clashes, the fun we bestow. Baker's channel, action's hot, trials and fun, all we've got. Discuss, debate, break it down. Baker's channel, just the best in town. Lawyers spar, tensions high, sparks fly. We laugh, we learn, dive into the why. Join the chat, have your say, it's your place too. Every twist, we're here for you. Baker's channel, action's hot, trials and fun, all we got. Discuss, debate, break it down. Baker's channel, just the best in town. Day and place, like join the crowd. Baker's channel, we're live and loud.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, and what, if anything, you might be. And welcome to day 2 in the Laurie Shaver case. This is the case where she allegedly buried her husband under her family discussion, nice hangout area, and but she didn't do it. Absolutely didn't do it. It was either Jay, Travis, Baloo, someone else did it, or maybe her daughter. That's what we kind of got out of yesterday. The opening statements from the state was paint by numbers opening statements by a defense attorney that yeah, she did it. We have the IP address, we have credit cards. She tried to hide it. By the defense, it was more in the line of don't trust anything. She absolutely didn't do it. It was the one-armed man who did it. So we had the first witness yesterday, the guy who knew Michael, worked with him, who still has his specialized tools from Disney, which were quite expensive tools. Laurie tried to sell him some
2020 CF 2361, State of Florida versus Laurie Shaver. With the parties present, please identify themselves for the record.
Nick Caruccio from the State of Florida. Bruce Weston from the state.
Jeffrey Wiggs on behalf of Laurie Shaver. Ms. Shaver is seated to my right.
Ms. Shaver, please state your full legal name and raise your right hand.
Sorry.
Laurie Filmer, previously known as Laurie Shaver.
You solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. All right, are there any preliminary matters before we call the jurors in?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, you may recall back when the state had filed their motion to allow the deceased father, Mr. Shaver's father, attend the trial, sit through the trial. We had invoked the rule of sequestration at that stage. We'd asked the state to advise, the court directed that they advised Mr. Shaver that he was not to be making any statements. So at that stage, the rule had been invoked. Yesterday, throughout the trial, the state has had present a good many of their witnesses here observing the openings and the testimony of the foremost witness at that date. So we ask that these witnesses that have been present, that they be excluded, barred from testimony, and that the state thereupon now advise the remaining witnesses not to not that they would advise them about the rule of sequestration having been.
I don't recall you invoking the rule.
Pardon me?
I don't recall you invoking the rule.
Yes, I did. I did right at that stage. I said, Judge, we're invoking the rule of sequestration. We'd ask the court and we'd ask the state to instruct the father that the rule's invoked and he's not to speak to anybody at that stage, and for purposes at this time, the rule of
The motion you
sequestration.
invoke the rule, or you invoke the rule in court?
I invoked it here before the court.
All right.
Mr. Wicks invoked the rule during the perpetuation of the testimony of Jessica Holcomb because we had technically started the trial at that stage. When we put her on, he said that he wanted to invoke the rule then. And the rule has been invoked. I've informed all the witnesses that they are not to discuss anything that has gone on in this case. And the only listed witness that is testifying that has been present is Laurie Shaver, the witness that you said was allowed to be here.
There were witnesses on newsreels last night watching the news. The rule had been invoked. Witnesses were present in the courtroom yesterday, and that was specifically regarding Mr. Shaver. We weren't talking to Ms. Holcomb. Ms. Holcomb was released from her state.
What other witnesses specifically were present that you're concerned about?
Ms. Shaver, yeah.
Okay.
Who was present?
Sharon Shaver. It was noted in the opening statement that Sharon Shaver would be testifying, Brian Shaver, Stacy Shaver. And I did see Tamara Dale here yesterday along with many CSI agents. And I cannot identify the CSI agents because I was not there on scene. So how would I be able to distinguish who is going to be testifying and who was sitting in the courtroom yesterday?
Your Tamara Dale was not here. Sharon Shaver is the decedent's mother. I listed her as someone that you might hear referenced, but she is not testifying. She was listed as a B witness. The CSI individuals that are here are all CSI individuals that were not even working with the sheriff's office at the time of the discovery of Michael Shaver's body in the backyard. None of them are listed witnesses. They are CSI agents that are allowed to be here to observe the court process as a learning tool. And there's nothing to prevent people that aren't witnesses and that weren't even with the sheriff's office at the time of this investigation of being present.
It sounds like the individuals that were present are not being called to testify. Is that correct, Mr. Camuccio?
Yes, sir.
Who was it the state's acknowledging was present?
Douglas Shaver.
Nobody else.
No witness that's being called has been in this courtroom in violation of the law.
Okay, and nobody's watched the news?
How should he
I
know?
can't control that.
Well,
I've told the witnesses that they can't discuss the matters that happen in court.
So they're not to be present in court. They're not to discuss any testimony or with any other witness.
we have screenshots, Judge, of people that
So,
listed witnesses.
yeah, and these aren't really good. I guess my concern was during opening statements, Mr. Baskley stated that we would hear from the mother, the father. The father, we had the motion hearing on. The mother, the brother, the sister, and they were all sitting in the courtroom yesterday.
The brother and the sister were not in the courtroom. They were sitting outside the courtroom the entire time.
For those of you who got here a little late because we started very fast, because I just ran in the door and opened up the computer while they started. They are having a hearing about potential witnesses being in the courtroom even though they have invoked the rule of sequestration. The state claims no one was there. The defense claims that multiple witnesses were there. So she allegedly has some screenshots, which I don't know what is what, but that's what we're about. Why is your client giving you argument? Because with the price she's paying, she needs to do some of the work. Yes, they're accusing people of being present and allegedly being on newsreels, which I don't know as commentators or just being filmed in newsreels. That's a big difference.
So,
Judge, I would just, in an abundance of caution, I would suggest when the witnesses approach that the court make an inquiry whether or not they've spoken to anybody or watched anything on TV to assure that there was no violation of the rule. And for any lack of confusion at this state, again, we'd invoke the rule of sequestration, ask the state to advise the
The court to inquire of every witness or
each witness that takes a stand, whether or not they've spoken to anybody, whether they were in the courtroom yesterday. And if they were, and they were listed, they should be
Sir, you're
barred.
making the allegation that there were individuals in the courtroom that should not have been in the courtroom. You tell me who you're concerned about, Mr. Wiggs.
Well, my client just advised the court, the mother and Tamara Dale, we suggest, was present, and
Brian Shaver.
Brian Shaver.
Stacy Shaver was here.
Okay, so Brian Shaver, Stacy Shaver, and Sharon Shaver. Who else?
Tamara Dale.
Okay, those 4 individuals.
Pardon me?
The court will inquire of those 4 individuals then.
You want me to bring this Brian Shaver and Stacy Turner in right now, Judge?
Are the other individuals present as Tamara Dale's here?
She's not here. She hasn't been here at all this week because she's not testifying until later. And as I said, Sharon Shaver is not testifying.
All right, well, let's bring them in and the court can make the appropriate inquiry.
At least we can hear them today. And hello, all. Sorry, we got a little fast into it. Hi, Iris. Hi, Gata. That was. If they're on the witness list, they very well might be caught on video around the courthouse waiting to testify. Yeah, that's why I want to know, is it, what does they mean by
Your Honor,
news
Stacy
skills?
Turner, Brian Shaver has not arrived this morning. I thought he had. Where would you like?
How about the podium, Ms. Turner? This shouldn't take very long. Okay, please state your name for the record.
Stacy Turner,
Okay, and spell your full name.
STACIE TURNER.
Okay. All right, and were you instructed not to discuss your testimony with anyone?
Yes.
Okay, and have you discussed your testimony with anyone?
No.
Were you in the courtroom yesterday?
No, I was not.
Okay, and have you viewed or been influenced by any media reports, newspaper, TV, otherwise?
No, the very end of a story was on this morning, but I did not see it. I just heard Laurie's name mentioned.
Yes, ma'am. All right, state, do you wish to inquire? Okay, Mr. Wiggs?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, are you satisfied with the responses, sir? Okay, and again, please continue. The rule is invoked. It remains invoked. Do not discuss your testimony with anyone. Do not view any media concerning the case. Do not do any research concerning the case.
Yes, sir.
All right, and please remain outside the courtroom.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, anything further? Okay.
Thank you, Gata, for gifting Carla Berkowitski a membership. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Is there anyone else present that is of concern?
I can double check and see if Brian.
If you would, sir. Thank you.
Oh, that got the blood flowing to start the day.
He's not here. I'll make sure we try to fit that.
Then the court will inquire as to the other 3 named individuals as they arrived, and they are Sharon Shaver, Brian Shaver, and Tamara Dale.
Very well.
Sharon Shaver's not testifying.
Okay,
Okay,
then she's not a concern, so just Brian Shaver and Tamara Dale.
very well.
All right.
Judge, I have one other matter.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because we've been drawn up to the bench a few times, and
Is it the standing objection that you'd like to make?
well, yeah, I want to make it very clear for the record, see where we're going to proceed on this, but I want to make it very clear. And I'm going to hand the court the prior decisions, which the state has copies of. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You see some cover notes on the first page, and that's just an outline of the Smith versus Carlisle decision and the Volker decision. Both cases are attached. We got drawn into this because there was earlier talk about the concept of inference stacking. Mr. Camuccio and I addressed the matter, and there was some argument that took place about it. I went back and I knew the rule had been changed, but I wanted to see how it was changed. And I came upon the Smith versus Carlisle decision. And that decision is cited at 378 Southern 3rd, 1213. It's a 2024 decision.
She should be, yes.
It looks like out of the first ECA. What the case did was it broke all the history down, and going back to Knight and Sims in law and going back to the Bush decision, which had revoked the concept of inference stacking. what it said was, yeah, the inference stacking doctrine is gone. And it went back and it said, what thus is imposed is the decision of Volcker versus Combined Insurance. And that site is 73 Southern 2nd, 403, Supreme Court decision back from 1954. And in it, it makes this statement: stacking one inference upon another as a method of establishing an ultimate fact, or nearly, should not be indulged in unless the first inference meets a test which may be analogized to the criminal rule concerning circumstantial evidence, only if the prior or basic inference is established to the exclusion of any other reasonable theory. Now, when I'm drawn up to the court, I've advised the court and I've advised the state, what's the primary inference that you're trying to stack this inference on top of? And Mr. Camuccio's argument has repeatedly been, make your motion for a JOA at the end of the trial. Well, to follow Mr. Camuccio's logic would do away with 90.401 relevance, and it would do away with 90.403 whether there's any prejudice by the inference to be drawn. So everything that Mr. Camuccio would propose through any proposed circumstantial evidence would be relevant in the mind of the state and the
Nicola, it started very early. It starts at 8:45. So that's why we're a bit early today. And we have just been going through, they believe that some witnesses had been in the courtroom yesterday. They hadn't, or if they had, they hadn't broken any rules. And now we're talking about inference stacking. Yes, he did.
defense will be required just at the conclusion of the case to move for a judgment of acquittal. So I think that the state would need to verify the inference that they're building, their primary inference that they're offering any substantive evidence. That's what the case would suggest. Further, Judge, I provided the court the motion to exclude digital data which had been filed in this case and to strike the business record certifications. In it, and this, we got drawn into this at the bench the other day, the state had spoken about they were in possession of business records from Facebook and that they were verified and that they were to be offered, and that all these inferences could be drawn that this was Laurie Shaver. You may recall in our prior hearings, Mr. Camuccio was advised in the court, Mr. Wiggs can't just introduce a business record and assume he's just going to get the evidence and the documents into evidence. What I did for the state, and the memorandum you'll see, was I set forth all the known predicates for the introduction of digital data. It's not sufficient just for one party to object on predicate without offering and showing the opposing party what the predicate is. So in there, you'll see I'd cited Monceau, State versus Love, a number of cases as to how the predicate was established in other cases. I'd also asserted cases that dealing with confirmation of the data and how matters had to be authenticated to show reliability, that you could not just introduce a business record and say the predicate's met. The state went beyond that later, you may recall, and it filed a request for a summary to be introduced into evidence. I advised the court that what the state was doing was the state was going to try to stack inferences and conclusions within it that did not constitute a business record. In the case that I...
Thank you so much, Bridget Oster. Yes, please do the YouTube things that I am always not asking people because I should. I'm not grifting enough. I have to remember that I need to grift more.
Oh my gosh, you guys! There's a class called Basic Grifting. Should we all learn how to be grifters together?
I need to take that class. Thank you so much, Bridget. We don't have a flowchart so far. My mods were working on something yesterday. I'll have to look it up. Hey, good citizen. And Zach. Don't show Danielle your mushroom.
Cited in the primary motion was Yisrael, Supreme Court decision, where after arrest document generated in preparation of litigation was not a business record, and clearly outlined that case and discussed it for the court openly. Now, none of this was contested in the hearing. Nothing was contested. We introduced it in the form, likewise with digital data, testimony of Richard Connor, the predicate standards. The state just kind of covered.
I think people are asking for a sexual timeline. Who was she dating at what time, and how have they anything to do with the case?
Their eyes on it, I think, thinking they're going to show up and just say, well, here's a business record and here's the inferences we conclude from it. Now, again, that brings us back to Carlisle and relationship with the digital data. So I supply that to the court instead of having to approach at all stages, advising the court that when we call them out or call the state out as to relevance, that's the authority that the defense has relied upon. That's the obligation for the court to inquire. When we talk about digital data in reference to that, those are the predicates that are set forth before the court and the state, and ask that the court hold the state to their predicate requirements as set forth by the court. So with those, Judge, we just preserve the record and ask that the court enforce the law and call the state out on these issues. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. State's response.
Your Honor, these issues have already been litigated. We've already made the ruling. I will point out, as I did up at the bench yesterday, that the defense, first of all, is relying on a civil case. Larry D. Smith versus Carlisle Industrial Break and Friction is not a criminal case. The case that it refers to, the Bolter v. Combined Insurance Company, once again, is not a criminal case. But the case that he cites clearly talks about how the Florida Supreme Court in Bush has done away with this standard that the state must do away with any reasonable hypothesis of innocence, and a conviction can stand based on circumstantial evidence alone. So their reliance on the civil case is misplaced. It's not saying what he says. The case that this court needs to rely on is the Supreme Court's decision in Bush, but all these other issues have been litigated. We have rulings, we've done orders, and simply rehashing all of this is inappropriate.
Judge, if I may, just respond to that. Judge, you have not signed an order saying the state has a right to avoid any predicate obligation. But I just read to the court what the Smith decision said. And the Smith decision said a test which may be analogized to the criminal court. So while it was a civil case, they were relying on the standard to be imposed in a criminal case. So the state miscites one that the court has never entered an order saying you can avoid any predicate obligation. Say the obligations are still in place, and those obligations are set forth in the memorandum to exclude the digital data. They're also set forth in Smith versus Carlisle and Volker, and that's.
Audio is good today. It's just a little windy in the courtroom, but we can hear what they're saying. Marissa, can you call Sinclair Group and use all of that anger?
Plain, it's on paper, and the court could not, even if it wanted to, state, Mr. Camuccio, don't worry about 90.401. Everything's relevant. Don't worry about 90.403. It doesn't matter if anything prejudices the defense. Everything's got to be analogized when it's tendered to the court.
All right. Anything further? All right. Thank you. Are we ready for the jury? All right. Please call in the jurors. Thank you.
So, for all the people who are trickling in, they started at 8:45, so I'll have to change the time for tomorrow if they do that every morning. But it was good because I had just come in the door. I've been in court all day myself, so it's so nice to hang out with friends instead of we had a small hearing because the defense claimed multiple witnesses were present yesterday in the courtroom against the rule of sequestration. Only one person was at the courthouse who might have been under that rule, and she wasn't in the courthouse yesterday and hasn't heard anything about it. They claimed someone was on newsreel yesterday. What that mean, if they were commentating on the case or if they was just caught on tape, they didn't really say. but it was all of Michael's family, more or less. She wanted to have kicked out. And then we were talking about stacking inferences against her. So that's an argument he has argued before and he has lost before. But now it's going to be a standing objection during the trial. And it's like a seamless transition to go live. Yeah, Dizzy Grenade, I saw you were in there, so I planned everything just for you. So it's going to be interesting. And again, I don't have the smexual diagram of this girl's life because I don't have that much red tape. It's some swoop. Yo, Schoenberg. It takes them forever to get in there.
You may be seated. I see that all the members of the jury have returned and are seated in the jury box. Thank you again for your time and patience this morning. State, you may proceed.
State called Rita Merritt.
Good morning. Please come up to the witness stand. Please be seated. Make yourself comfortable and let me know when you're ready to go. Good morning. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Rita Merritt, RitaMerritt.
Please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Good morning, Ms. Merritt.
Good morning.
You're a little soft-spoken, and we're trying to make sure that that microphone picks up everything you say. So you can lean in and talk. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
I'm Rita Merritt.
Did you know Michael Shaver?
I did,
How did you know him?
through my husband, Frank Merritt.
And how long did you know him?
For about 6 months or so.
And were your families friendly? Did you socialize together?
Yes, sir, a couple times.
And did you ever go over to his house, to Michael Shaver's house, to visit or socialize with Michael Shaver, his wife, and their kids?
Yes, sir.
And did you socialize at other locations other than either of your homes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever met Laurie Shaver?
Yes, sir.
And did you meet her through
First
Michael
witness
and
of
your
the day.
Yes, sir.
Do you see her and recognize her in court today?
Yes, sir.
Can you point her out to describe something she's wearing?
The tan jacket.
Now, did you meet Michael or Laurie first?
Actually, I met them together.
And I want to take you back to November 7th of 2015. Did you see Michael and Laurie Shaver that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. And where did you see them?
At the Florida Flywheeler show.
What kind of event was that?
It was an event that had like old steam engines and tractors and kind of like a swap meet type of place.
Who all was there as far as your family and their family?
Mike and Lori, their 2 kids, Aiden and Isabel, my husband Frank, my daughter Carly, and myself.
And did you see Michael and Laurie Shaver interacting together?
Yes, sir, when we first got there.
And what was the demeanor of those individuals while you were there?
Objection. Just calling the witness to speculate on the mental process of another individual.
It's an individual's lay opinion of another individual's demeanor. So,
What caused the mental impression?
all right, overruled. You may answer.
Describe their
It seemed to be there was some tension between them.
Why would you say that?
Well, when we got there, we met up, and it was like, I don't know what happened. They just were their friendly selves.
Now, at some point, did Mike, Laurie, and their kids leave without you and your husband and your daughter?
Yes,
And just to be clear, you guys arrived separately in different vehicles.
yes,
Now, on that day, was that the last time that you either spoke or saw Michael Shaver? when you were over at their house, did you ever observe anything that was being utilized as a fire pit?
No,
In the backyard, was there an area where the family had started some sort of construction of something that they wanted to put in there?
Mike had talked about digging a duck pond. They had ducks and chickens and stuff, and he had talked about digging a duck pond for his ducks.
And had that excavation, had that hole started to be dug while you were over there socializing?
The last time we were there was in September, the last time I was there, and I don't believe at that time that he had started it, but we did
Thank you for your justice service.
talk about it.
I have nothing further at this time, Judge.
All right, Mr. Wiggs?
Yes, ma'am, please, Corte.
Yes, sir.
No, I had something to eat just before, and a little piece of it just got stuck in the windpipe. It was, and it's still there. So
Now, ma'am, you testified that y'all socialized, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You never observed a murder, correct?
I'm sorry.
You never observed a homicide,
No, sir.
okay? Most you're saying is y'all went out to some truck show, I believe, and that somebody was in a bad mood.
Yes.
That would cause you to speculate about their mental problems, correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
No, sir.
Did somebody say I'm in a bad mood?
No, sir.
Okay. Did it occur to you somebody may have health issues?
Health issues? No, sir.
How was the temperature?
It was early in the morning, so it wasn't that warm then, but as the day went by, it got pretty heated. Yes.
Very hot, did it not?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So your conclusion, somebody was in a bad mood, doesn't take into consideration other factors such as health issues, temperature outside, correct?
Correct.
They surely don't relate to any homicide that was committed, correct?
I would say no.
Thank you.
Any follow-up? May the witness be excused from her subpoena? Okay. Thank you for appearing today. You're excused from further testimony. Have a good day.
Your Honor, can Mr. Wiggs and I approach real quick?
Yes, sir.
already approaching the bar. I don't think these lawyers like each other. And because this is loud. And yeah, trying to impeach her knowledge about the day because, oh, you didn't check if anyone had health issues, if it was the heat that made them leave early, that she might be cranky because she dreamt last night that he was cheating on, well, in her case, cheating with someone else probably wouldn't be a problem. But she was asked what she observed. She observed that there was a weird feeling between them. We've all been there. We don't need to be Dr. G and make up body language to tell when there's a tension between a couple. We've been there. We had that, and that was just weird with his. Well, what was the temperature that day? I don't like that guy. Was it snowing that day? Yeah. He feels, especially with that, I don't make a ton of money. I'm not a personal injury lawyer. Hey, coffee nut. Yeah, and everyone's in a bad mood until they had at least 2 cups of coffee. It's, I would say tomorrow, this morning, getting up after 4.5 hours of sleep, going to court. The first thing I did was made my morning coffee. Then I made a second morning coffee while I ate my breakfast because it's been a rough day. Let's just say that. So I wouldn't mind if 4 of the 5 witnesses today doesn't show up so we can end early. Not that I don't love all y'all, but just we are a bit tired.
The state calls John Borgland.
Yes.
This is one of the witnesses that I'll be publishing.
All right. Good morning, sir. Please come up to the witness stand. Please be seated, make yourself comfortable. Let me know when you're ready to go. Right here, sir. Thank you. Good morning.
Judge, we approach this momentarily.
Yes, sir.
You just went up there. Finish your stuff when you're up there. Yeah, I think this will be interruption upon interruption upon interruption, sadly, which will be really annoying because on the face of it, how much is in this case? It shouldn't be more than a week's trial, but apparently the jury was told that it might last into next week. And then I get in a little bit of a conflict because the Carly Gregg case is set to start next week, but I'll have to figure that out. Maybe I can just do some reruns or something.
Ma'am, I notice you have your head down. Are you okay? Okay. Do you need a break? Okay. Were you just taking notes? Are you feeling well today? Okay. Any follow-up questions? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Probably because the juror was
All
lying.
right, sir. Please state your full legal name.
John Adrian Borgland,
Please spell your full name.
John Adrian, B as in boy, Orglum as in Mary.
All right, please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Where's Valhalla? Are you here? Arne Anderson is on the stand. The enforcer, Arne Anderson himself. Probably only me and Valhalla would get that reference.
Truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Good morning. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
I'm John Borgland.
And did you know Michael Shaver?
Yes, I did.
How did you know Michael Shaver?
So I was Michael's leader at Disney for a few years. He actually worked for me on two occasions. First time was when he was in his fourth year as apprenticeship in a monorail shop. So that was from roughly August of 13 through August of 14. And then in 2015, or in 2014, he transferred to Epcot when he completed his apprenticeship. I also transferred to Epcot in April of 2015, and that's where Mike worked for me again.
When you refer to yourself as his leader, is that basically a supervisor?
Yes, sir.
And in order to work as a mechanic at Disney, what did he have to do to get that position?
So Mike actually completed a 4-year apprenticeship as a mechanical apprentice in order to be able to work at Disney, and then also complete an exam in order to be able to work as a attractions mechanic in one of our attractions.
And how was he performing as an employee?
Mike actually performed really well. Was not happy on a personal aspect when he transferred to Epcot from the monorails, because I was at monorails. I wanted to keep him. But I was really happy when I transferred to Epcot and he was once again working for me.
And when in the course of the time that you were supervising him, was there ever any discussions of his advancement within the program?
Yes.
Judge,
Hearsay.
hearsay.
Sir.
Hearsay.
All right. Overruled.
So I was actually in late 2015, I was actually ready to promote Mike to a working foreman position, which would have involved a pay raise. And that was primarily due to his work ethic and the way he was respected by the teams.
And had you made him aware of that consideration?
Yes, sir.
Now, as a mechanic at Disney, specifically when he went through the apprenticeship program, was he issued tools by Disney?
So there is a small set of tools that are issued by Disney. It's just a standard set that they're issued. However, each cast member is allowed the opportunity in order to be able to purchase and bring in their own set of tools. So those tools are can also be generic ones or specific for whatever task it is that they are performing in the attractions.
And even the tools issued by Disney once he completes the apprenticeship program, do they then belong to the individual?
That I don't recall.
Now, does Disney maintain records of employment that include absences, whether or not someone called in sick, didn't call in when they were absent, things of that nature?
Yes, sir.
Going to go ahead and show defense what has been previously been marked as State's Exhibit U, proper business record certification, business records from Walt Disney work, Michael Shaver.
Judge, we're going to object to the objection or to the certification.
We're gonna object to the objection. Good. I know it's a slip up, but still.
Excuse me. The records are just improper bolstering at this stage. They're not relevant, probative. This witness has no probative testimony other than to try to bolster a man who's not here. It's not probative pursuant to Smith versus Carlisle and Volker as well that I've cited to the court.
All right, state's response.
Any sort of objection to the business record certification is untimely, as not for the business record certifications board. These Disney records were not done prior to trial, and we are going to be talking about his attendance records, which are contained within.
It does not alleviate the relevancy, whether or not there's an objection made prior to trial or not. The state still has to show the probative value, regardless of whether they want to introduce it. Under Smith versus Carlisle and Volker, it's not probative evidence to just bring a man in and try to bolster somebody's testimony to try to throw some ammunition out there on behalf of the state. Again, it's not probative in any matter.
Anything further?
No, sir.
Objections overruled.
States move in States U into evidence as States number 9.
And states U will be admitted into evidence as states number 9.
Now, Mr. Borgland, prior to your testimony here today, have you gone back and reviewed Mr. Shaver's attendance records during the time frame that he was working at Disney?
Yes, sir, I have.
All right. Now, I want to take you back to November of 2015. Was Michael Shaver scheduled to work on November 10th, 2015?
Yes, he was.
And Your Honor, I would ask at this time to publish the contents of states number 9 to the jury.
Whether he was supposed to show up for work one particular day does not alleviate or does not answer the question.
Please approach.
All right, let's have a sidebar. Thank you.
Oh. So, from what I'm gathering, he's going to object to everything they want to put in there that's not directly linked to the unaliving, because it's just to pad up witnesses. It's normal to talk about his work habits because all of a sudden he jumped off the planet and didn't show up for work. So yeah, I don't like this guy.
I'll direct your attention to the page that's numbered on the bottom. That's 986. Do you have that page in front of you?
Almost.
Well, I like Sarah the most because let's just say it this way. I like my tuna can to still have a little bit of threads on the tire.
986.
Now, on November 10th, 2000.
Texas Brand. A man goes missing, allegedly moved to Georgia, left his wife, his home, his everything. Shows up a couple of years later under the fire pit in the garden. And then the stories begin. Laurie claims either her boyfriend, who was married to another woman, did it. Maybe her 7-year-old daughter did it. I don't know how the 7-year-old buried her under the fire pit. Maybe it's the one-armed man. There's a lot of possible suspects. The only one who's absolutely not a suspect is Laurie. She did nothing wrong. This case is wild because Brandy Churchwell knows a friend of Laurie's. Danielle knows someone who knows Laurie's husband. Danielle knows the judge. It's the Kevin Bacon of cases. And to finish it all off, the guy who allegedly, the first guy she pointed the finger at, was dating her for a short while, and then she got the no-go zone, the push area, the tuna can branded with his nickname. So she has a heart with Ray somewhere in the fun zone. She is the meme, hey sailor.
2015, was Mr. Shaver scheduled for work?
Yes, he was.
And did he show for his scheduled work?
November 10th, he's actually documented as a no-call, no-show, which means, so no-call, no-show means he was scheduled for work and he did not call in, whether it be call sick, call whatever, in order to let us know he was not coming into work.
And what was his next shift after November 10th of 2015?
So it would have been November 10th, which actually would have been his first day coming back to work after his 2 days off. So November 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. So there's 4 consecutive no-call, no-shows.
And all of those are reflected in the records that you're referring to there?
Yes, sir.
And the going back through his attendance at Disney, had he ever no call?
Let's just say around the part she's in, she's not known for queefing. It's more like a hurricane whenever. No, don't say stuff like that, Baker. That's why you lose all your subscribers. Marissa, bring back Jamie, aka Baker's filter. I'm a little tired today, so I might have less of a filter. This is a good Christian channel most days.
No showed for work before November 2015?
No, he had not.
I'll just quickly go through those records, appearing on page 97, 98, 99, 990, 991. First entry there on page 991 as far as the time frame that Mr. Shaver was working with Disney, where there was something on his attendance.
The one for 926
On
top one.
the date on 991 showing
The date on 991, the very first entry is 8/31/2009.
So in that 6-year period prior to November of 2015, no call, no shows.
That is correct.
Once Mr. Shaver had failed to appear for work and didn't call in, first of all, was that concerning and unusual to you based on his prior experience?
Yes, it was.
And so what did you do?
So the first night, I would have actually asked the team members who know Mike best if they knew something was going on, if he had reached out to any of them, and I would have sent him a text message.
Did you ever call him on the phone?
Not the first night.
And how were you communicating with him then?
At that time, it was via text message.
And did he or someone in possession of his phone correspond back with you?
On the 13th was actually when I received a text back, because by the 13th, that had been 3 consecutive no-call, no-shows. By Disney policy, 3 consecutive no-call, no-shows. It is a automatic termination of employment with a company. So I had been texting and trying to call his cell phone in order to find out what was going on, as well as if there was issues, in order to offer assistance, because Disney does have Disney Assistance Program, where if things are coming up, we're able to help out, especially for outstanding employees. So I had reached out to Mike, and on the 13th is when I got a text message back. The text message stated along the lines of
Objection. Judge William.
All right, sidebar, please.
Oh. This is going to be a very long trial if we have sidebars every single time. It's and what was it for? Speculating? I don't know. It's I think this is gonna be very. Why doesn't I think they should do the Borowski thing, pull them in chambers and say, "Hey, fellas, you're gonna play nice now, or I'm gonna put the hammer down and I'm gonna rule this courtroom with an iron fist." Instead of all of this, can we approach, please? Can we approach, please? It becomes the Daryl Brooking of courtrooms where we are arguing every single time because the lawyers dislike each other, and for the most of it, it's about nothing. That's so stupid. That's yeah. Baker stay calm sounds like a you problem. I have tried to not be angry. So the next step will be eating chocolate and yelling at my boyfriend. I'm sorry, Valhalla. It's gonna happen.
Yes, sir. That's inappropriate. All right, please proceed. Thank you.
What was the response?
So the response I received back was having issues at home in Georgia right now. Either fire me or I'll quit. I'm not coming back to work.
Please proceed. Thank you.
What was the response that you received?
So the response I received back was having issues at home in Georgia right now. Either fire me or I'll quit. I'm not coming back to work.
And his personal property, being the tools, were still at Disney.
Yes, sir.
Did he ever come back to get those?
No, he did not.
Did you ever reach out to Laurie Shaver to ask her what to do about the tools?
No, I did not reach out to Laurie. I still continue to try to reach out to Mike. Part of the process that we have with the company when somebody leaves the company, whether on their own volition or whether they were terminated, is their tools are their property. So we do not maintain or keep their property. So we make every effort in order to return the property back to them. Since Mike's toolbox was in the attraction, made every effort in order to return the toolbox. At that time, it was actually shortly after that, so it would have been early December, is when I received a snapshot of a message that Frank Merritt had received in order to turn the toolbox over to Frank.
Now, have you seen or actually spoken with Michael Shaver since
Oh,
November
yeah.
7th of 2015?
No,
After I finished yelling at Valhalla, of course I will rewatch The Notebook.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Wiggs?
Mr. Borgland, tell us about your IT experience.
IT experience, very minimal.
Do you? Do you hold any kind of degree in IT?
No, sir.
Okay. And when you say you received a message,
Jamie, can you please report into work? I am losing my temper with this guy. It doesn't take a degree in IT work to either. If you're going on to say, well, how did you know the sheets were correct? I used to work in a bakery where we wrote who was working that day on a piece of paper. I'm not a paperologist. I could still see, oh, John is going to work that day. And if there was a line through that name, I knew, oh, John had called in sick that day. You don't need to be an IT expert. And if he's going to say, well, how did you know the text was sounding weird? And how do you know it's not from that guy? Well, if Jamie gets a hold on my phone and writes someone, you can see a difference in the spelling. It's such a stupid argument. He's just trying to I really don't like this guy. Light candles, take a bubble bath, have your time. I will.
you don't know who you received the message from, do you?
Other than the fact it comes up on the phone as the message for the caller ID showed it was Mike Shaver's cell phone.
Okay. Do you know where that was sent from?
No, sir.
Do you know what router it was sent from?
No, sir.
I don't like Cheese and Chung movies.
Do you know what Michael Shaver was doing 24 hours before he last showed up from work?
No, sir.
Do you know who he was with
No, sir.
the last 24 hours?
No, sir.
Do you know who was with Michael Shaver the last 24 hours?
No, sir.
Do you know where Michael Shaver was at?
No, sir. I do not. I would have assumed he would have been at home, but no.
That's your assumption, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, aside from the records that were introduced, did Michael have any complaints at work?
No, sir.
Okay. Was there a Kendall Davidowski, somebody he was dating at work?
There is a Kendall Davidowski at Disney, but
Yeah.
I don't know whether he was dating her or not.
You know if she had filed any complaints against her?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. So you don't know if those are a complete statement of all the records on file with Disney, do you?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. And you don't know who Kendall Davidowski is?
I know who Kendall Davidowski is. She
Okay.
also worked for me during a period of time.
Okay. And you don't know whether or not Mr. Shaver had a relationship with her?
No, sir.
Okay.
What does it matter? Is she the
One
one who
moment,
did
please,
it
Sheriff.
now?
Yes, sir.
That's all I have. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. State. All right. You may step down from the witness stand. You're released from further testimony, sir. Thank you and have a good day.
Take off any first.
Yes.
I need a poll.
Good morning. Please come up to the witness stand. Please make yourself comfortable. Let me know when you're ready to go. All right. Please state your full legal name and spell your name, please.
My name is
A blueberry macchiato. Little D. That's another reason I won't visit you in Florida if you drink stuff like that. That's. I thought I taught you better. Hey, Dallas born Boston Brett. How are you doing this morning?
Brendan Robert Burns. It's BRENDEN.
You have more than one.
Robert. ROBEERT. Burns. BURNS.
Please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Please proceed.
Why don't you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Again, my name is Brendan Burns. I'm an airline pilot by trade, but at the time I was a aircraft mechanic.
Did you know Michael Shaver?
Yes, I did.
And how did you first meet Michael Shaver?
As I was an aircraft mechanic at Warbird Adventures in Kissimmee, Mike came in as a volunteer to help work on some aircraft projects, race airplane, etc.
And when you say you came in as a volunteer, what type of role was he wanting to volunteer to do?
As an aircraft mechanic, I guess any tasks associated with working on our race airplane mainly.
And that area where you started to volunteer, did you start a friendship with Michael Shaver?
I did, yes.
And through that, did you meet his wife, Laurie Shaver?
Yes, I did.
Do you see her in the courtroom today and can identify by something that she's wearing?
Yes, I do. She's wearing a tan coat.
Now, what types of things would Michael Shaver do for this race?
It's Florida. Don't most retired wrestlers go to Florida? The ones who live. But yeah, this is a slim down King Kong Bundy.
Honestly, whatever was requested of him. One of the first things I remember him being sort of assigned to was we were building a new canopy for the race airplane. So he was molding some styrofoam for a mold of the canopy. So that was one of the first things I remember.
And were there times that his wife, Laurie Shaver, would also participate in the activities of this race team?
Yes.
And how would that come about?
Well, Laurie would attend the races, and she helped out in the merchandise booth. We sold T-shirts, hats, and other paraphernalia.
Did you ever go over to their home to visit or socialize?
Yes, I did.
And was there a period of time, in case I didn't ask, what was the period of time that you knew and were friends with Michael?
I believe it was the late 2012 or early 2013.
So, is it even what? I don't like potato salad, but that's not something you put in a Greek salad.
Through fall of 2015.
And was there a period of time you were friends with Michael that he had moved out of the home and was living in?
Yes, yes.
What time frame was that?
He lived in the hangar, I want to say it was late 2014 or early 2015.
And during that time, was he separated?
Yes.
During that time that he was living at the hangar, did Michael Shaver start dating someone else?
Yes.
And who was that?
Her name was Kendall.
And was that somebody that also worked at Disney to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, yes.
After a period of time, did you see Laurie Shaver start coming back to the hangar when Michael was living there?
Yes, I did.
And what types of things would she do when she would return to the hangar when Michael was
Thank
staying?
you for another fun.
Well, I saw her talk to Mike outside. One time there was some pizzas in the break room, and I asked, and someone said that Laurie had bought pizzas for the race team.
And after this period of time, in the summer of 2015, did Michael Shaver leave the hangar and return to live at the marital home?
Yes, he did.
Are you Facebook friends with Michael Shaver?
Yes, sir.
And have you, during the time that you've been friends and since his disappearance, been able to look at the pictures and things that have been posted on his Facebook?
Yes.
And here at this time, I'm showing the defense what has been previously been marked for identification, states V, the Facebook records with appropriate business record certification, as well as 2 individual photographs labeled states X and states W.
Please approach.
Approach again.
All right. Sidebar, please.
This is what the 5th or 6th. I need a sidebar counter. Sadly, I can't do it in StreamYard, but I need some, like all the good streamers do, have a counter. This is stupid. Woo, that flew. Thanks to everyone for the fun. What's up, Charles? Thank you for being here. It's always nice to have new people come in, and especially new people enjoying what we're doing. And we have a sack floating around in chat to test you, to see if you can stand the heat in the kitchen. So if you can hang with Zach for a month, you can handle everything. And Dallas-born Boston Bred became a member. Thank you so much. I'm just gonna shorten that because I don't have enough room on this one. So it's gonna be DBBB. 1 membership. Gracias.
Meta, the state of Blue States V. Business records. You're at this time based on business records notice and certification provided by Meta, the state of Blue States V. The Facebook records of Michael Shaver into evidence in states number 10.
All right, states V will be admitted into evidence of states number 10.
Yes, same objection, Judge.
All right, sir, overruled.
Now, first, I'm showing you a photograph taken from those records that has been labeled as states W. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes, I do.
And first of all, who is that a photograph of?
That's Mike Shaver.
And how do you recognize that photograph?
We're missing our Brandon. He's been away for a couple of weeks. I've seen him hang around in other chats. Maybe Zach scared him off.
I recognize this photograph because I took this photograph.
And what was the circumstances that you took that photograph?
Mike and I were fishing behind my house that I lived at the time.
And when would that event have occurred?
This was in June of 2014, I believe.
And after you took that photograph, did you share that with Michael Shaver?
I'm sure I did, either via text or I tagged him on Facebook.
And at that time, did you have a working phone number for Michael Shaver?
Yes, I did.
And what was that phone number?
It's
Do you have it on your phone?
It's on my phone.
Would looking at your phone and the entry that you have on your phone help refresh your memory about what his phone number was?
Yeah.
Did you ever change it at any time during your friendship since you had that number programmed and up till today?
I have not.
Okay. Can you go ahead and look at it, please?
Sure. The phone number that I have for Mike Shaver is area code 352-431-5121.
All right, this time the state will move state's exhibit.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Into evidence, the state's exhibit number 11.
Same objection, Judge, improper predicate.
Objections overruled. States W will be entered into evidence as states number 11.
Now, did you see this picture appear on Michael Shaver's Facebook?
Yeah, at some point.
And when was the last time you had any contact where you either saw or spoke with Michael Shaver?
It was early October 2015.
And when something is posted onto Facebook, when you're going through, does it have dates and things that correlate to that posting as you're looking at the post?
Typically, yes.
And I'm going to go ahead and present this exhibit that's just been admitted into evidence. When does this show that photograph was uploaded on the Facebook?
It shows it was uploaded March 8 of 2017.
Hey, Mama Smith.
I'll go ahead and publish for the jury. Is that the photograph that we've
I like my cakes like I like my tuna cans, moist in the middle.
been talking about? That's on the screen.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and show you
And
another
ladies and
photograph.
gentlemen of the jury, if you wish, you may get up from your seats if you would like to get closer to view the photograph. So feel free to move about the jury box, and if you need to, Deputy Olmsted will allow you outside of the jury box so you can view the photograph or any exhibits more closely. And that applies to all exhibits. Feel free to move about the jury box and out of the jury box as needed.
Showing you previously embarked Exhibit X. You recognize this photograph.
Yes, I do.
And how do you recognize that photograph?
It's a picture of some random bar somewhere that
Where
might
did you first see that photograph?
on Facebook.
Okay. And specifically, whose Facebook profile?
That was Mike Shaver's Facebook.
And when you saw that photograph on Mike Shaver's Facebook profile, why did that individual picture seem unusual to you?
Well, he's not in the picture, and I don't recognize any.
It's something when you have your this is a work colleague. It's not like they were friends and buddies, and it's like that 2020 with John O'Keefe's 20-year ago girlfriend who had his badge number as his her necklace. It's something else. If I still have my last message from my mom stored on my phone. I think the last one she texted me is, "Oh, I just saw that and that person out shopping. Oh my God, she's gotten fat." I love that. That's the last thing I have from my mom. But I still have that one. But that's my mom. It's not. I don't know some guy I worked with 5 years ago where they are. But I don't know.
Person in this photograph or the place it was taken.
And the looking at that photograph, did you do anything to kind of look into the where that photograph came from?
Not really. I mean,
It encapsulates my mom.
As the photograph that you are looking at from Facebook that was posted on his profile, you do not recognize Mr. Shaver in that or any other individual.
that's correct.
All right, this time the state removed states X into evidence at states number 12.
Judge, same objection. Is an improper predicate.
All right, sir. Objection is overruled. States X will be admitted into
I need
evidence
to make
as states
myself
number
some coffee
12.
now.
And is this photograph, which I'll publish show when that was posted.
I shouldn't teach you those things.
It says it was uploaded January 2nd of 2018.
And I'm publishing states 12 at this point.
All right, request to publish is granted.
No, I was actually thinking about if she leans in close and whispers on his neck so he could feel it, get a little tingly. You know how you ladies know how to do that. You.
That is the exhibit itself. That's hard. As far as the writing on it. Go ahead and publish the physical exhibit to the jury.
Yes. Why not? Because now we're just sitting here guessing
Once you
what's
view that,
on it.
the physical exhibit, please pass it around to the other jury members. Thank you.
Kimberly Hills, you entered when the courtroom is. I don't know what's going on. They have more sidebars than I don't know. The defense is arguing the most weird objections all the time, and they don't show us the evidence. They're just saying, "Oh, you got this Facebook message. Show it to the jury," and we're sitting here waiting, filling time, talking about coffee. Marissa is really fond of blueberry dry muffins. Always Jamie with that.
Have you seen or spoken to Michael Shaver since November of 2015?
I have not.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Wiggs?
May it please support.
Yes, sir.
Sir, this digital data went back between you and Mike, allegedly, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. You don't know who was on the other end of their router, correct?
That's correct.
You don't know if it was a male or a female, correct?
Correct.
You don't know how many people were in the residence, correct?
That's correct.
You don't know if it was intercepted anywhere, correct?
Correct.
You're not an IT personnel, correct?
Why?
That's correct.
Okay. Were you present during the demise of Michael
I
Shaver?
don't think
I
so.
was not.
Do you know anybody that was?
I do not.
So this digital data
She's cheating on me.
is supplied to say, essentially, I saw him in this period, I believe, correct?
Yes.
I sent him something, I believe, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember Laurie Shaver's child, Erlyn?
No.
You don't remember that child?
No.
Okay. Did you turn over your computer to law enforcement?
No.
Did they issue a warrant to secure any information from your system?
No.
Very well. Thank you.
All right. Redirect?
Do you know any of Michael Shaver and Laurie Shaver's children?
Yes.
Who were they?
Isabel and I forget the little boy's name.
Any children that you had after Michael Shaver? Would you have any way of knowing? And has there ever been any difference or discussion of any text messages or anything that you would receive from Michael Shaver on your computer?
Not that I'm aware of.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Wiggs?
Nothing further. Thank you, Judge.
It's not relevant, and it's such a stupid thing because we all used to use Facebook. We know, oh, I saw this roughly around that time. You don't know who uploaded it. That's not what he's asked about. He's not there to testify. He is just there to testify on Michael Shaver's Facebook. I saw a picture depicting that. I got a text message on my phone which came from the number belonging in my phone to Michael Shaver. He wasn't. He's not there to disprove and say, well, it was an Indian call center who spoofed my phone, Michael's phone number, and called me for my car's extended warranty. That's not his job. He was just asked, did you get a message pertaining to the number you had stored as Michael? Yes. Get it with the tech guys. It's not this guy's job. He's just there to testify what he received. And if we're going to go through that with every witness.
The witness excused from the subpoena.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for appearing today, sir. You're released from further testimony. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay.
At least it goes fast. Well, he can vouch for. He saw it on his Facebook on or about that time, and it was a Facebook related to Michael Shaver. He wasn't asked if, do you know if Michael Shaver put it up there, or do you know if Laurie Shaver put it up there? That wasn't what he was, just to testify that something happened on the Facebook at a time where the cops believe Michael wasn't able to update his social media anymore. It's not a technical thing. It's just to say, well, there was still activity after Michael was taking a dirt nap.
All right, good morning, sir. Please come up to the witness stand. Please be seated. Make yourself comfortable. And let me know when you're ready to go. All set?
Yes.
Okay. Please state and spell your full legal name.
My name's Robert Marcato, Jr., ROBERTMERCADO.
Please raise your right hand and I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please proceed.
Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Hi, my name's Robert Mercado.
Did you know Michael Shaver?
Yes.
How did you know Michael?
We first met at work in our apprenticeship, mechanical apprenticeship, and from there on we hit it off.
When you talk about your apprenticeship at work, where did you?
At Walt Disney World.
And were you guys going through the apprenticeship at the same time?
We ended up at the same location. He was a year ahead of me.
How long is that apprenticeship?
It's a 4-year apprenticeship.
Now, through Michael Shaver, did you ever meet his wife, Laurie Shaver?
Yes.
And did you ever go over to their house to visit or socialize?
Yes, multiple times.
And in November of 2015, what kind of vehicle did you have?
I had a gray Explorer.
And in November of 2015, did you ever go pick Michael Shaver up from his home and take him anywhere so he could leave his family?
No.
Did you ever take him to Georgia and drop him off anywhere up there?
No.
Going back to November of 2015, did you have any upcoming plans with Michael Shaver for later in the month?
Yes, we were planning on having Thanksgiving together.
And when you talk about having Thanksgiving together, who all was involved with that Thanksgiving?
I was going to be his and my family at his house.
And so when you talk about his and your family, would that include Maury and his children?
Yes.
Did you have children?
Yes.
How old were your children in comparison to his?
Older. Mine are a lot older than his.
When was the last time that you physically saw or spoke in person to Michael Shaver?
It was at least a month before we were making plans for Thanksgiving.
Did you ever receive any contact about those Thanksgiving plans, either canceling it or doing anything with those plans?
Yes, I messaged him multiple times a couple weeks before just to solidify the event, and after that, he just texted me back saying that we were canceling it.
Was there anything unusual about your correspondence with him about that event after November 10th of 2015?
Yeah, he kind of just stopped talking to me and said he wanted to be left alone.
Was that out of character for him?
Absolutely.
And have you spoken on the phone, any contact that you can verify was in fact from Michael Shaver since November of 2015?
No.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, Mr. Wiggs?
Yes. Mr. Marcato, did you ever go over there, transport Mr. Shaver to or from the residence?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what was that regarding?
Depends really. Which time you?
Was there more than one time?
Yeah, I used to go over there all the time.
Was there any time that you transported, removed any goods of his, any items of clothing with him when he was leaving the residence?
The one time I picked him up from court and took him to his residence.
To obtain some things?
Yeah, to pick up his.
Okay. And were you there at any time when there was any violence between Mr. Shaver and Ms. Shaver?
Yes.
Okay. So you witnessed that?
Yes.
And there was a 911 call, correct?
Not at that time, no.
Okay. Did you have to get between Mr. Shaver?
I had to get between both of them.
Okay. When Mr. Shaver left the residence, do you know where he resided?
I took him home with me that night, and then the following day, he stayed at the Warbirds Museum hangar for roughly the better part of a year after that.
Okay. Did you witness any homicide in this case?
No, sir.
You know what Mr. Shaver was doing 24 hours before his death?
No, sir.
Do you know who was present with Mr. Shaver?
No.
4 hours before his death.
No, I did not.
One moment, please, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Some of his stuff so he can leave the residence. And while he was doing that, I started to hear arguments, and they started fighting, just arguments. And at that time, when I walked in, I noticed that she had a gun in her hand, and she was waving it around, saying she was going to hurt herself. So I separated them, removed the weapon from the area, consoled her and tried to calm her down while he got the rest of his stuff, and then we left.
So when you're referring to some violence that you observed between them, you never saw Michael Shaver touch or strike Ms. Shaver in any way?
No, he would never.
The only thing that you saw was Ms. Shaver brandishing a weapon and making threats?
Yes.
Nothing further?
Mr. Wiggs?
Was 911 call?
Not that I'm aware of at that time, no.
Okay. Did you see anything happen to Mr. Shaver?
Not that night.
Okay. Mr. Shaver was acting aggressive on that night, correct?
They both were.
They both were. Okay. And Mr. Shaver's the one that left the residence, correct?
Yes, I took him with me, yes.
Out of his necessity because of his act of violence, correct?
It was for the betterment of both of them that he left.
He left by law, correct?
Not that night, no.
Not that night. It was a different night?
It was the previous night.
I see. Okay. And you came to retrieve his belongings with him, correct?
Yes.
And he was acting violent at that time?
No, he was not.
Okay. You just stated you got in between the two of them
Yes.
because they were acting violent, correct?
While he was trying to retrieve his stuff, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Nothing further.
All right. And may the witness be released from his subpoena.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for testifying here today. You're released from any further testimony.
I have a me-you problem. You likes views. Well, I have 102 likes and 165 views. That's fine. It's more than 100. You know, I don't grift, hit the this and that and
Good
do
morning.
this and that.
To the witness stand. Please make yourself comfortable. Let
I
us
ain't
know when you're ready
a
to
good
go.
grifter. Yeah, who doesn't?
All right, sir. Please raise your right hand. State and spell your full legal name.
My name is Corey J. Lutzow. It's spelled C-O-R-Y. Middle name is J-A-Y. Last name is spelled L-U-T, Z as in zebra, O-W.
All right. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
All right. Thank you, sir. Please proceed.
Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Corey Lutzow.
Did you know Michael Shaver?
Yes, I did.
How did you know Michael Shaver?
I worked with Michael Shaver at Disney, at Epcot at the attraction Spaceship Earth.
And approximately when did you start working with him?
Roughly about spring of 2015, when I transferred from being an attractions cast member to a mechanic.
And at that point, had he already gone through the apprenticeship program?
Yeah, actually, he had just graduated the apprenticeship program.
And as a mechanic over there, were you working at the same attraction with him, a different attraction? How was that?
We were working at the same attraction. I was actually introduced to Mike on my first day on the job. He was going to be the guy that was actually showing me around.
Yeah, it's either Nerdrotic or Valhalla and Shissy's love child. It's more like Shissy and Valhalla had a love child than Nerdrotic.
The attraction and getting me acquainted with everything.
And would you ever visit or socialize with Michael Shaver outside of work?
No. We messaged a couple times on Facebook, text message here or there, but never really got the chance to socialize outside of work because with my stint in the military, I was always busy going between Disney and doing the military thing. So never really got a chance to socialize outside of work.
Did you all work the same shift?
Yes, we had the same days, same working days, same days off.
And what shift was that?
So our shift was third shift, and we had.
Well, we don't know who did what either, but we know Michael, who was a Disney mechanic at the monorails, isn't breathing anymore. He was found under a fire pit in his shared garden with the lovely Laurie Shaver. Laurie Shaver is what's in the business known as a loose woman. She had multiple affairs with married men, and so far, after the police found the body 3 feet under the fire pit, she has claimed her boyfriend did it. I believe that's the guy who is now forever enshrined in a heart just above her fun zone. Her daughter did it. And absolutely, she did nothing wrong. There's a lot of digital evidence that he was still active on social media and withdrawing funds after he apparently moved to Georgia. But all the fingers points at her, but it wasn't her. And her lawyer is probably the best lawyer in all of Florida. I struggle to follow in chat. I appreciate and love reading chats, but put on screen, you are all a funny bunch. Thank you very much. Watch Our Trials. Thank you very much for enjoying the chat. Even Zach.
Had Sunday, Mondays off. So we would usually come in on a Tuesday night, and then we would clock out early Saturday mornings for our weekends.
Where do mechanics at Disney get their tools from?
So during the apprenticeship program, when you go through the apprenticeship program, you get your tools assigned to you, and then you get to keep those upon graduation. And then if there are any other specialty tools that you would like to buy, we have a Snap-on and a Mack truck that will come around usually on Wednesdays. So if you want to make any personal purchases, you can do so.
Now, when you purchase these from the Snap-on or the Mack truck, do you get better deals than as you go into like Home Depot or something like that?
Yeah, give or take. A lot of the times, I know me personally, me and Mike, we actually ended up buying like the same product. They had a deal where you can get a 1/2-inch impact, a 3-inch impact, with battery packs, whole 9 yards. That usually would retail about $1,500–1,600, and we ended up getting them for like $700–800.
Now, as someone who worked on the same attraction and the same shift as Michael Shaver, were you familiar with the tools that he had?
Yeah, his toolbox was right next to mine.
And do you have similar tools to what he has?
No, it's not sarcasm. She was a very loose woman. She at least betted 2 married men, and she married another man while her husband was in the fire pit, well, under the fire pit in the garden. So she is, by the conventional term, a loose woman.
Yeah, generally, so with the attractions, with the apprenticeship program, they gave them what they classify as a basic tool set. I don't exactly know how many pieces were in that tool set, but both his set and my set were almost identical.
And what kind of condition was his tools in?
I mean, just normal wear and tear, but he took pride in his tools just like mine. I mean, they were strategically placed, very well marked, so it was easy to find if we needed to borrow each other's tools.
And as far as the cost of these tools, you said you had very similar workup in your kit?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And so you are familiar with the value of the tools through your own personal experience.
Oh, 100%. I keep track, very accurate track of how much I spend on my tools.
And what's a rough estimate of the tools that Michael Shaver had at Disney that you had an opportunity to observe and were comparable to yours?
I would probably say his toolbox comparable to mine was roughly between $3,000 and $4,000 worth of tools.
She has more than one tattoo. I thought the only tattoo she had was on a fun box with Ray in it.
When was the last time that you had any contact with Michael Shaver?
Last contact I had with Mike was the weekend he went missing, when which I would say would probably like around the 12th and 13th of November 2015-ish.
Are you given an estimate of that date?
I believe so, yeah. It's been so many years since it's happened.
Was your last contact with him at work?
Yes, we had clocked out of work, and we usually all walk to the parking lot together, and we all say, "Hey, we'll see you on Tuesday." And then they're like, and everybody reciprocates, and then we all go on our merry way.
If the work records indicate that the last day that he worked was November 7th, would that then have been the last day that you had contact with him?
Yes.
And you said you guys worked the same schedule, same shifts?
Mm-hmm.
So the November 10th being the next day he was supposed to come in at work, was he there?
No, he was not.
Did he ever return to work?
No, we did not see him.
Had you ever tried to reach out to him after he stopped showing up to work?
I reached out to him that Wednesday, so the second day he did not show up for work. I reached out to him via Facebook and said, "Hey man, just checking on you to make sure you're good. Make sure you're good." Never got any response, but I did get a read receipt because if anybody knows social media, if you're on Facebook Messenger, their little icon will drop down showing that it's been read, and it showed it was read.
Objection. Judge, please testify. Excuse me.
Sidebar, please.
Oh. Sammy spills the tea. It's tough. Work was aggravating today until this. Oh, I thought work was aggravating today until this trial started. Well, I think it's the defense lawyer. No, she only has Ray tattooed right above her fun box. So every time Travis, her current husband, is servicing the tuna salad, the roast beef platter, he gets to see that name. Jamie, I really need you to come on and not make me say words like that.
So please describe to the jury on your personal experience. You had knowledge that message was received.
So when
you had knowledge that. So please describe to the jury how in your personal experience you had knowledge that message was received.
So when I opened my Facebook Messenger, after I had sent the message, I had noticed again the little icon that shows your profile photo had dropped down, and it showed that it had been read. Usually when you open a message and it hasn't been read, the icon still remains high. So I saw that the message had been read, but I did not receive any messages responding to what checking in on him.
Did Michael Shaver ever return to Disney to pick up those tools that you talked about?
No, he did not.
Have you seen or spoken to Michael Shaver since that time that you all left work on November 7th, 2015?
Nope, did not. I've not seen him or spoken to him.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Wiggs?
Sir, you don't know how Michael Shaver died.
I heard about how he died, but I don't know 100%. No.
Okay. What you're going on is speculation, correct?
I guess you can say that.
Right. You were not present when it's in the demise of Michael Shaver, did you?
No.
Okay. You don't know who responded to any email that you may have sent to Michael Shaver.
I never said I sent an email. I said I sent him a direct message via Facebook. That's not an email.
Right. In the form of an email communication, correct?
No.
Again, that's not an email.
No.
Okay.
It's a message.
It's a communication. It's a direct message, almost like a text message.
And you're not an IT guy.
Never claimed that to be that. No.
I didn't say you did claim to be. You hold a degree in IT, correct?
Nope.
You don't know who was at any location that may have intercepted that, correct?
No.
Thank you. Let me ask you one more question. You know what Kendall Davidowski?
I've heard of the name, but I've never met her.
She worked at Disney?
My understanding is she worked at Disney, but she was not in my location when I was there.
You know if Mike was dating her?
Nope. Again, all I know is I heard of the name, but that was it.
Okay. You know anybody Michael was dating?
Nope.
So they're going to
Never talked
blame
about
that girl?
State?
Nothing further. You can be excused.
All right, sir. Thank you for appearing today. You're released from further testimony. Have a good day.
Single party Shaver?
Oh, a shaver. Is it Daddy Shaver now? Hey, Snivels, how are you doing?
Oh, Judge, I think we might want to discuss it for a moment.
Yes, sir. We'll take the jurors out for a comfort break. We'll recess for about 5-10 minutes. Thank you.
What's going on?
All right, please be seated, sir. Please state your name for the record and spell your full name.
Brian Shaver, BrianShaver.
All right, please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I will.
There are a few preliminary questions that I'd like to ask you. Were you in the courtroom yesterday?
No, sir.
Okay. Have you discussed your testimony with anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. Has anyone discussed their testimony with you?
No, sir.
Okay. Have you done any research regarding the case?
No, sir. Well, yes, I have in the past, not recently.
How long ago?
Just kind of keeping a little current with it, but I wouldn't say recent.
Okay. Have you viewed anything in the media recently?
I saw it on the news last night, just
Okay.
on the local news, but that was it.
All right. And State, do you have any questions?
Mr. Shaver, you didn't watch the live stream or anything?
No, sir.
That were covered?
No, sir.
When you talk about research, you're following news media to follow along with your brother's case.
Yes, that is correct.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Wiggs?
Did you see on the news last night?
I saw about the court proceedings, about the jury selection and stuff.
Okay.
Well, that's a problem, right? Because he's told to not follow the news. And if anything, isn't it the same rules the jury is having that if you see anything, turn off the TV?
Have the state communicated with you about the obligation not to be communicating with other witnesses or reading any data?
Yes, they did.
When did they do that?
It's probably been, I think, probably about a month ago.
All right.
Anything further?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because if he was told, yes, Tim Swoop, the jury is out. It was preliminary because before we started today, they raised the question if any of the Shaver family might have been watching news too much or talking to someone about their testimony. And him watching the news could potentially be a problem, right? This has to be part of the plan by the defense. Yeah, they want everything to humanize Shaver out of there.
Or would the parties like a comfort break?
I was going to suggest that we're kind of at that 10-15 year old.
Yes, sir. Let's take a 5-minute comfort break. All right, we're in recess. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't like this clock either. That's it doesn't fit the courtroom. But well, so far, a lot of stupid arguments by the defense about you don't understand how to see how a Facebook message has been checked. We all know it because when we're ghosting someone and it pops up on our start screen or on our phone, we just read it and don't open it because we then know that they will be able to see that we opened the message. So anyone who's ghosted anyone knows how to do that. It's such a stupid argument that, oh, you're not an IT specialist, so you can't testify that you saw your Facebook had been read. Facebook is a dead and gone media by now. It was kind of the thing back in 2015 when this happened. Everyone was on Facebook all the time. But we don't know how to use it because we didn't go to Elon Musk Academy or Zuckerberg High. That's just stupid. It's such a stupid argument. And anyone on the jury will be sitting there thinking, why is he bringing that up all the time? Because I can pick up my phone and say, oh, yeah, my mom saw my instant message. We're not idiots just because we didn't go to school. Probably smarter than most of the people who went to school. Never ceases to amaze me what power women like her have over morons. I wouldn't touch her with Valhalla's Rooster and Baker pushing. No, and but again, you know how it is. Some men, if they can smell a free meal, even if it's tuna on the menu, they'll come calling. How much time is allotted for this trial? All these sidebars will drag it out. I haven't heard an official number. I believe the jury was told it might last until next week. Yes, it's because they raised a problem this morning that some might have been following the trial even though they were sequestered. The defendant claimed that she has screenshots of these people in the courtroom. Why is she not confronting people with those? Because they don't actually exist. She didn't show it to the judge. So most likely that's why. I have a blind girl clock like we had in school. I don't know what that is. We didn't have those. We had a bell that went off whenever we had a recess. He talks about IT like Lally talks about the weather. Yeah. But it's a stupid argument because it's something we all use every day. We know when something has been read because we know I can see it that someone opened it. I have 5 Instagram messages. I haven't checked because I'll get to it at some point, and it's just because if I check it, they'll send me another reel of something stupid. I don't want to have that because then they keep sending them. Gil Ritchie, do like I always do. Go over to Brandy Churchwell, steal her homework, and pass it off as your own. That's how you get by in the world. So they aren't thinking with their brains. No, again, because we men is kind of we need to take it when we can, and you ladies can have it when you want. That's a big difference between the smexes, and especially the people she's been with since then. All of them married men or felon. I think that her current husband did a 5-year stint for a felony. It's probably not rocket surgeons that she hangs out with. Why is Baker kissing a G.I. Joe? Because it's Duke. Hugs to frustrated baby. Candy may be needed. I just need something to get me going again because I didn't sleep enough last night. I've been in court all day, so I'm a little. Whenever we have our big break and I get some food in me, I'll probably be better. They are having a comfort break for 5 to 10 minutes. A big round clock. I don't look like a... It is leaning a bit, but don't worry about it. It's not leaning as much as it used to do. Whenever I get to it, when I'm not streaming like 5 times like I did yesterday, I'm gonna rework the office anyway. So it's a temporary solution. I want to get some better shelving in here. He looks like a wingman. Well, it's because the expert claims that he looks like me. So that's why I got my Duke. Thank you so much for the people who gifted it to me over on Buy Me a Coffee. And I got myself a little Duke. So that was back when I was a good grifter. And I grifted a G.I. Joe figure from all my wonderful supporters. Since then, I haven't really put anything new up there. I need to remember.
Oh my gosh, you guys! There's a class called Basic Grifting. Should we all learn how to be grifters together?
I should do more grifting. No, it's not gonna. I put in a lot of extra screws in it. It was way worse in the beginning. It's just I want to move my desk all the way down to the end of the room, and then put up some real shelvings. But it's a temporary solution. It's a cheap thing. So yeah, I'm a gentleman. I can vouch for that. Oh my. Do I have IKEA in Denmark? Of course we have IKEA. It's half an hour from where I'm living. And I need to go out there when I build my studio over. I need some shelving because this is like a long, narrow room. So I want shelves on the side and then all of my supporter boards in the back, so we can see all the wonderful supporters. But it's just all the Lego and stuff I do. It racks up. Look at that. Everyone's seen Baker Dollar. He works there. No one sent Baker dollars. You don't have to. I'm more than happy to do this, just because I like hanging with you. But thank you, Dave.
Narrative and emotional state. They had no knowledge of it.
I like that the hot mic picks up all the time.
And his family didn't care. They didn't know what he was up to.
Something about emotional state. His family didn't care. They didn't know what he was up to.
You may be seated. I see that all members of the jury have returned. And before we begin, I have a few questions for the jurors. Have any of you spoken with anyone about the case? Okay. If you have, please raise your hand. Yeah, I see that no hands were raised. Have any of you done any research about the case? If you have, please raise your hand.
Thank you so much, She's Like Texas, for 20 Broken Baker memberships. Mary Murphy, Toy, Gigi, Mexican Vader, Jenny Wilson, Warrior B. Arch, MD Thomas, 8368, Legion 13 Gemini, Consciously Biased, FD Food Fairy, Chrissy, Captain Set, Tim Westland, That Weird Girl Kim, Jennifer Stubblefield, Gina L. Mind Your Business, Anna, Caroline Blake, Elizabeth McPherson, so far are the ones who popped up as gifted memberships. Thank you so very much. Now I almost have enough money for a new shelf. And on the way in, Nicola Maxwell for a good Swedish shelf fund and bath salts. Why do I need bath salts? Am I smelly?
Your hand. I see that no hands were raised. Have you viewed anything about the case on the TV or heard about it on the radio or otherwise? No. Okay. All right. If you have, please raise your hand. I see that no hands were raised. And all right. Anything from the state? Anything from the defense?
No, Judge.
All right. Thank you. All right. Please proceed. Thank you.
Brian.
All right. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Please state and spell your full legal name.
Brian Douglas Shaver, BRIAN DOUGLAS SHAVER.
Please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
My name is Brian Douglas Shaver. I was the brother of Michael Douglas Shaver.
And are you his older brother or younger brother?
I'm the oldest.
Thank you, Dempsey.
How much older are you?
I'm actually 13 years older than Michael was.
And were you still living in the home when he was born?
Yes, I was.
And
Laura, everything for you. You missed a lot of arguing from the defense team. A lot of people have just been in there saying it seemed weird that he just dropped off the planet because he had just finished in his apprenticeship, had gotten some tools from Disney, and was a good guy. Liked him. They liked to work with him. He might have had a girlfriend. Defense is really playing a stupid strategy that people don't understand tech, and that it probably was his girlfriend Carrie we should look at instead, and that there's so many sidebars that I might become an alcoholic.
Was there a period of time where you grew up together?
No, my parents got divorced when I was about 15 years old, so Michael was only a couple years old. Though we spent a lot of summers and Christmas breaks and stuff like that together, but not really under the same roof.
So after the time frame that parents got divorced, then did Michael stay with one parent and went with the other?
Yes, I went with my father and he stayed with my mother.
And during holidays and summers after that, is that when you're talking about?
That is correct. That is correct.
And you know Laurie Shaver?
Yes.
Had you met her through Michael?
Yes, through Michael.
And about when did you first meet Laurie Shaver?
That was after they got married. They had moved to Florida. They had moved to Florida on 2 different occasions. It was the first time that I had actually met her.
And prior to his death, how often would you talk or see Michael Shaver?
They actually came to my house in Georgia 2 or 3 4th of July's. We'd have a cookout and kind of a family get together, and then we'd talk occasionally through telephone call or text.
And in 2015, were you living in Georgia then?
Yes, I was.
And was July of 2015 the last time that they came to visit you for one of those 4th of Julys?
No, it should have been. It was probably around 2012, 2011 or 12. I'm not sure exactly the year.
During the time frame after that 2012 visit, up until the time frame where Mr. Shaver disappeared, how would you communicate with him?
Primarily, I know I had a couple phone calls with him, primarily text or Facebook message.
And was there a time frame where you just were not able to get in touch with him?
Yes.
And when was that?
Probably started in late 2014.
And after November of 2015, have you been able to have any sort of was there a period of time where you started to worry about his whereabouts?
Yes, when there was no contact, my mother had gotten sick, was in the hospital. We couldn't get a hold of him to let him know, about her sickness.
How was the family reaching out to let him know about his mother's sickness?
We called, text, Facebook message, Facebook, on the wall, whatever you want to call it, and tried to call, but like I say, and left voicemails, but there was no return.
And what period of time was that?
I really don't recall on that. Probably close to 6 months.
What year are we talking about?
I believe it was 2015, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
And would you respond to any of that?
No.
And have you seen or spoken to Michael Shaver since November of 2015?
Well, I received some text messages, let me rephrase that. I received some Facebook messages from what I believed was Michael, but at the time we didn't know he was missing, and I assumed that it was him.
And anything about the tenor of those messages that caused you any sort of concern?
No, not at the time.
All right, sidebar, please.
Oh. We were doing so good, and then we're back to Laura. I have that effect on women. Normally, I have to take my pants off before they start laughing. Just ask Danielle.
No, there was one particular one that, I assumed that it was him because there was nothing evident at the time that he had asked for my mother's phone number, our mother's phone number, and said that he had tried to get a hold of her. It was after much after she was sick, and asked me if it had changed. And I texted back and said no, that it hadn't changed, and gave the phone number again just to make sure that he had the correct one. But that was I think that was the last communication I had.
Brief recess at this time. Apparently, electronic court reporting is having issues with recording the proceedings. So until that has been corrected, we'll resume after it has been corrected. Right. So please take out the jurors. Thank you.
How can audio become worse when they go on break? Is it amateur hour or what's the problem? Because it became really bad when they were on break. They went on break because the electronic court reporter couldn't capture what's went on in the courtroom, and you could hear it. It was making all of those sounds. So before the jury came in, we could hear Laurie and her lawyer on a hot mic talking about his family didn't know what was going on or something like that. And as soon as the witness started talking, it was just all crap. 3 years is when they came to the house. This is on track to have more sidebars than Nick's RICO trial. And this won't last 5 years like Nick's case will last. But
everything that was stated on the record was recorded. So is that correct, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Is everyone ready for the jurors?
Yes, sir.
All right. Please bring in the jurors. Thank you. All right, please be seated. I see that all of the members of the jury have returned. Thank you again for your time and patience today. Please proceed.
Mr. Shaver, is it fair to say that your contact with your brother over the years was not frequent?
No, I'd say it was more occasional than frequent.
And the various occasional responses that you and other family members may have received in 2015, 2016 through Facebook or other sources such as that, did that alleviate initial concerns that something was wrong with Michael?
Not to me, because I felt that there was communication, even though it was very limited. But that kind of took, the worry that he was, something was wrong.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Wiggs?
Mr. Shaver, have you ever been to your brother's house?
No, sir, I have not.
Never even been there?
Nope.
So when we talk about communications, we're not talking about many communications, are we?
Telephone and, visits.
Yeah. Did you call Laurie Shaver?
No.
Any concern?
No.
Never thought to pick up a phone and call her?
No.
You stated this surfaced around 2014?
I believe so.
Okay. And how long did this go on before you thought something may be up?
When the communication stopped, we began to really worry that what happened to him. Where did he go? Did he disappear? Did something bad happen to him?
How long? What was that period of time that you said, hey, maybe we need to do something?
Probably a year.
A year. Okay. So was it in 2016?
I don't recall.
You don't recall. Okay. And so you never pick up a phone and call Laurie?
No, I didn't even have her telephone number.
Okay. That's how close y'all were, correct?
I was not close with Laurie, no.
Okay. And you're not present, sitting here telling the jury you witnessed any kind of homicide, correct?
No, I did not.
Okay. You don't know what Michael was, who he was with the last 24 hours, correct?
No, I do not.
You don't know about any altercation that transpired, correct?
I know of a previous one, yes.
Okay. You know of a previous one. Okay. Did you witness this previous one?
I did not.
Okay. And so you don't see any kind of altercation. You just say, hey, we heard from Michael the last around 2014, correct?
Correct.
And sometime thereafter, I don't know, we became a little concerned, correct?
Correct.
And yet we never call Laurie, correct?
I did not myself personally.
Right. Thank you.
All right, State.
Nothing further, you may be excused.
All right, sir. Thank you for appearing today. You're excused from further testimony. Have a good day.
Any good Mexican on the jury will convict her solely on how awful that fire pit concrete slab looks. It's a crime against humanity, especially because she didn't put down a good foundation. That's where they found the body, was because it was sagging in one place. So, but according to Brandy, who was on yesterday, just as we ended, it's I think she said 4 younger people on the jury, two a bit older, is how I remember it, but I was a little tired. But thank you, Zach.
State Hall Douglas Shaver.
Good morning, sir. Please come up to the witness stand. Please be seated. Let me know when you're ready to go.
Okay.
All right, sir. Please state and spell your full legal name.
Douglas Shaver, DouglasShaver.
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Please introduce yourself to the jury.
My name is Douglas Shaver.
And did you?
Yeah, but we also heard from Brandy yesterday. She apparently does this with the new guy as well, isolates them from the family.
Michael Shaver?
Yes, he's my son.
And how many children did you have?
I have 4.
And where is Michael?
Michael was he would have been next to the youngest.
At some point while he was a child, did you and his mother divorce?
Yes, we did.
And what type of contact would you have with Michael Shaver after that?
He would I would have him during the summer months. I'd have him flown down, and then I'd usually have him at Christmas time.
What kind of contact would you have with him once he became an adult?
It was limited.
Did there come a period of time in 2014 where Michael was not living with his wife, Laurie?
I really don't know.
Okay. And
Schomburg, I don't understand any of his tactics, so I can't help you with that one.
Michael ever in the military?
No.
After November of 2015, did there come a time where the family started being concerned about Michael Shaver's whereabouts?
Yes.
And can you describe the things that the family started to do once they became concerned?
Well, either that or her boyfriend or her kid or the family, or blame it on the weatherman.
I'm not much into texting, and basically what I was told from other family members that we're texting back and forth.
Objection. Judge hearsay.
Sustained.
My question specifically was, what types of things was the family doing once, not why you all were concerned, but what types of things were done once the concern began?
Then they just started searching and contacted the sheriff's department.
Were you able to have any sort of contact, either talking to Mr. Shaver on the phone or speaking to him in person after November of 2015?
No.
And once the body was discovered in the backyard of the Shaver residence, did law enforcement contact you about that discovery?
I was down there.
And were you present, and did you submit a DNA sample to law enforcement for future comparisons?
I did.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Wiggs?
Mr. Shaver, you were relatively estranged from your son, were you not?
For a period of time.
Period of time. When did you guys have this reunification?
Pardon me?
When was there ever a reunification between the two of you?
I really don't understand the question.
When did you guys get back together? United?
Okay. In approximately September of 2014.
14. Have you even been to the Shaver residence?
I've never been there.
Okay.
Except the day that when they discovered his body.
Okay. And you live where? You live where?
I live in Georgia.
Okay, so you're up in Georgia, you have some reunification, you never went to the Shaver residence, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm going to ask you an obvious question. Obviously, you never observed a homicide in this case, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You don't know how Michael died the night of, or day of his death, do you?
Do I not know how he died?
You did not observe anything.
Oh, no.
Okay. You don't know who was present.
That's correct.
Okay. You do not know who was involved in any event leading to the demise of your son, correct?
That's correct.
All right. I have no further questions, Judge.
All right, redirect.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, thank you, sir. You're released from further testimony. Have a good day.
Thank you.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, the entire defense strategy is you don't know what a text message is, and you didn't keep in close contact.
Please be seated and make yourself comfortable. Let me know when you're ready to go.
With Michael. So, and you didn't see the unaliving.
Please state and spell your full legal name.
Christine Corte, Christine. Last name Corte, Quarte.
Please raise your right hand and I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Good morning, I'm Christine Corte, Michael's sister.
And you said you're Michael Shaver's sister? And was he older or younger?
Older.
Were you the youngest of the family?
Yes.
And how much older was he?
8 years.
Did you grow up in the same home with him?
We did not, but he came down for the summer and I spent a lot of time with him during the summers.
Did you go or meet before he came?
Very briefly when I was a young child.
And where would you have met her? What state?
New York.
And in 2014, how often did you communicate with Michael Shaver?
In 2004.
One moment, please. Overruled. You may answer.
In 2014, how often would you communicate with him?
I talked with Michael a lot.
Why did the audio turn to crap again?
Through text and social media, and we talked a lot about the family and just catching up and everything.
Would you talk on the phone or anything like that? Or was it mostly Facebook and text?
It was mostly Facebook and text.
Did you engage in 2014?
Yes.
Did you reach out to let Michael know?
I did.
Was he able to attend the wedding?
He was not.
Was there a period of time where the communication that you had with him changed?
Yes.
And can you describe the period of time that happened?
Yeah, so I initially told him about the wedding and that I was very excited for him to join. We would have all our siblings together. And then his tone started changing. And
because they have nothing to add. They weren't there. It's just to come in and say he acted weird on the internet. This lady is probably there to say, well, because she changed her last name, which she would have known, but said, who that? Why is Baker so quiet? Maybe I'm still turned down from yesterday? Because Sue yells at me when I'm this loud.
And it was harder to get a hold of him, and I could tell that there was a change in his tone.
Was there ever a period of time where you stopped being able to communicate as often as you had previously?
I sent some messages and text, and he wasn't responding.
Was that normal?
No.
The previous, anytime you had sent messages, you would respond.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And sometime after 2015, that also.
Yes.
Have you seen or spoken on the phone or in any other way where you could physically confirm that you were speaking with Michael Shaver since November of 2000?
Yeah.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Wiggs?
This was not a lengthy relationship with your brother or stepbrother, correct?
Yes, I've known him my whole life.
Pardon me?
I have known my brother my whole life.
Okay. Have you been on communications with him your whole life?
Yes, when he would come to our home for spending time with us during his trips, and then I communicated with him during all different methods: phone, text, social media.
Okay. Social media. How long did you communicate with him on social media?
As long as social media has existed.
Okay. You supplied the same records?
Yes. Yes.
Correct. And they showed your communications?
Yes.
And those go back, what date, do you know?
As long as social media has existed.
Correct. Do you know if those have been verified through valid IP addresses?
I imagine when the records were obtained, they are verified because they're coming from the source. Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Mr. Shaver quit. Speaking to you, you just say, correct?
There was a change in his tone. There was unresponsiveness, especially following 2015.
Okay. What you were shaving?
The Michael Shaver residence. When we were called to inform that they had found his body, I went with my father.
You never even met, correct?
No, we were never invited.
Do you even know Laurie Shaver?
Yes.
Okay. When did you meet her?
When I was a child, I met her briefly in the state of New York.
So that's a long time that's taking place, correct, in this house?
Yes.
When Michael wasn't responding, did you pick up a phone and call your dear friend?
No, I did not have a relationship with Laurie Shaver.
You know, even the Shaver children's names.
I do.
What is happening with the audio?
I have met the children.
Their names.
Isabel and Aiden.
Their ages.
It's been, I think she's 16 now, and Aiden would be a preteen.
What's the last time?
In 2020,
2020?
when we were allowed communication.
Okay, 2020, when Laurie was arrested.
And we were granted communication, and we spent time with them here.
When you thought you had custody,
No, when we sought to have an opportunity to have a relationship with them.
did you all retain custody? You see custody?
Sidebar, please.
I don't know what's happening in this courtroom with the audio. It was crystal clear when they went on break. Then they came back and we couldn't hear the witness. Now we can't hear the lawyer. What is all this about? Do you know the children? Yeah, when we were allowed visitation, it doesn't.
Did you speak with an attorney about gaining custody of these children?
I did not pursue gaining custody.
Anybody in your family?
We did not pursue gaining custody, but out of fear for the lives of the children, a discussion was after she's been arrested. We wanted to learn our options to make sure that the children were protected and cared for.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
All right, State? All right, may the witness be released from her subpoena?
It's only the second it catches up that it will glitch. This is constant.
All right, thank you for testifying here today. You're released from any further testimony. Have a good day.
State calls Desiree Snyder.
Yeah, but Fox doesn't play it on repeat, so there won't be any close testing on that one. Because,
Good morning. Please come up to the witness stand. Please be seated and let me know when you're ready to go. Make yourself comfortable, please. Thank you.
I'm sorry. That's not okay. No matter if you like her or dislike her, they shouldn't be picking up her conversation with her lawyer. That is private conversation they are having. No matter how much we like to snoop and make fun of everything they say, that's not okay. They should really look at that because that's private, confidential conversation they are having. I feel that's a big problem. Yeah, it's a pool.
Okay. Please state and spell your full legal name.
My name is Desiree Ruggles, DESIREE RUGGLES.
Okay. And if you could speak up a little louder and get as close as you can to the microphone, everything has to be recorded. Please raise your right hand and I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Please introduce yourself to the jury.
Hi, I'm Desiree Ruggles.
And when I had called you as a witness, I had identified you as Desiree Snyder. Was that a previous name of yours?
Yes, it was my maiden name.
When were you married?
August of 2014.
Did you know Michael Shaver?
Yes.
How did you know Michael?
He was my uncle.
And which of his siblings are you the daughter of?
Cece Turner.
And did you know Laurie Shaver?
Yes.
Had you ever met her?
Yes.
And prior to Michael's death, how often would you communicate with him?
Never. With him.
Yes.
When I was able to.
Did you communicate with him at all about the time frame where you were getting married?
I don't remember, honestly.
Did you send an invitation?
I don't believe so, but I don't remember.
Had you had communications with him after you were married?
Yes.
And he was aware of the marriage?
Yes.
And therefore aware that your name had changed from Snyder to Ruggles?
Yes.
Leading judge.
Overruled. Please proceed.
So he would be aware of that?
Yes.
Now, in 2015, where were you living?
I was living in Lawrence at the time.
I'm sorry, where?
In Lawrence, New York.
Was there a period of time in 2018 where you reached out, 2016, where you reached out to Michael Shaver in attempts to communicate with him?
Yes.
And how did you do that?
Facebook Messenger.
And when that communication occurred, would that have been after the wedding?
Yes.
And after your name change?
Yes.
And when you sent that message, was that through your profile?
Yes.
And so it would have reflected your name of Desiree Ruggles at that point?
I had gotten a new Facebook, so it might have been from my previous.
I'm going to show what's previously been marked as State's Exhibit Y. I'll show that to the defense.
They have mics on the podium. They have mics on the desk. They have mics in front of the witnesses. It's an audio balancing thing they haven't figured out in court. So some mics are super hot. Other mics have tons of interference. It's really annoying. Well, you're here now, Lorena. Another sidebar. This is getting annoying. Dum, 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 dum. And again, I really don't understand this. I don't understand this defense attorney. He's very combative, but he doesn't have any good questions. He's just asking the same questions. You weren't there, and you don't know how Facebook works.
So I'm showing you communication sequence. Why do you recognize this communication? So I'm showing you communication sequence. Why do you recognize this communication thread between yourself and the Facebook account of Michael Shaver?
Yes, I do.
And had you reached out to Mr. Shaver in 2016, and is that reflected there in those messages?
Yes.
And is that an accurate documentation of the messages that you sent and received from the Michael Shaver Facebook?
Yes.
All right, this time the statement states Y into evidence.
Same objection, Judge.
States number 13.
The objection is overruled. States Y is admitted into evidence. It states number 13.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and start you with the message, first message that was sent here on August 15, 2016. Was that message from you?
Yes.
And what was the content of that message?
I was just saying hello to my uncle.
Go ahead and read it directly to the jury so they can see it.
It says, "Hey, Uncle Michael."
And above that is the response that you received.
Yes.
And what was that response?
Who are you?
And did you respond to that?
Yes.
And what was your response?
I'm your niece.
Did Michael Shaver's Facebook account respond to you when you said that you were his niece?
Yes.
And what was that response?
I don't have any family anymore. I have no clue who you are. Now stop messaging me.
And that message appears to have been sent on September 20th, 2016?
Yes.
Go ahead and present to the jury.
Yes, sir. Granted.
So what Brandy told us yesterday about that isolation is something she have done before. Because I don't have a family anymore, stop messaging me. That's such an easy way to keep people out of your life. And it's a really bad way because this lady will sit there and think, what did I do wrong? Come on. Ooh, okay, that's good. Come on. You know that Laurie was Danielle's old workout partner at CF Fitness. Oops, maybe I wasn't supposed to divulge that. No, it was at Gold's Gym Sack. But Danielle already said that Laura hit Deb on what, especially if she had her water bottle standing on the ground. She was really getting Deb on it. Thank you, Zach. Are you saying this started after she often? No, she's apparently tried to isolate the family or him from the family. But after that, she took over his Facebook messages and told everyone to leave him be. It's EF Fitness now, and we were not gym buddies. Well, did you change together? Shower together? Did you see the little heart tattooed near her fun box? Couldn't we just do it digitally so it doesn't take forever? Well, I just wanted to know if it was what style her tattoo was in. Neo-traditional, old school. It's interesting too. I like tattoos. Well, I don't like tattoos. I've never said me. I don't understand people who get tattoos, but oh, she has a gay tattooed somewhere on her body too. Interesting. No, he probably couldn't run it digitally. Times New Roman. I'm thinking it's more like.
No further questions, Judge.
Oh, it's not
Mr.
old
Wicks?
enough to be
Yes, may I please support?
Yes, sir.
be
And the last
tribal.
time you saw Michael Shaver was what, 2001? That era time?
Around there.
Around there, okay. He was relatively estranged from his father, correct?
I don't know.
No, you don't know, okay. You made no trips to Florida, correct?
No.
You never went to the Shaver residence, correct?
No.
Michael Shaver was pretty much on his own outside the family, was he not?
No.
There were no visits, no homecomings, correct?
When he would visit us.
When was the last time you saw him? About 2001, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just Googled it because I don't know Americas, but it's 1,000 miles from New York to Florida. It's not something you do. Well, you can do it in 18 and a half hours, depending on traffic, but still. And if you're not close, if it's a divorced family and you used to see each other on vacations and you are the niece of him, oh, you weren't there every weekend making s'mores at the fire pit. I don't like this argument.
Now, we've seen your email
38 to the back of the head.
thread that's moved into evidence at this stage. Do you know the physical address it went to?
His Facebook profile.
Could it not be somebody at Starbucks using his account? Could have been, could it? Reasonable?
Yeah.
Right. Could have been somebody in Michael Shaver's house other than Michael Shaver, correct?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. Could have been Michael Shaver himself, correct?
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, may the witness be released from our subpoena?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for appearing today. You're excused from further testimony. Have a good day. Please be seated, make yourself comfortable. Let me know when you're ready to go.
I'm ready.
All right, please state and spell your full legal name.
Stacy Turner, STACIE
You're always right when you
TURNER.
claim stack.
Please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Laura.
Did you know Michael Shaver?
Yes, I did know Michael.
How did you know?
Michael was my younger brother.
How much younger was he?
He was 11 years younger than I was.
Did you know Laurie Shaver?
Yes, I did.
And when did you first meet Laurie Shaver?
I met Laurie, I believe she was in kindergarten. And she grew up with Michael, so I've known her for quite a long time.
And did Michael Shaver and Laurie Shaver start dating when they were in high school?
They were in 7th grade when they began dating.
Prior to his death, how often would you communicate with Michael Shaver?
I would communicate with Michael every couple weeks to a month. Sometimes it was every other month. It kind of varied. You know, if we had a lot of news to share, we'd talk more often. If we didn't have a whole lot of news to share.
I think there was both parents had combined and then they had separate kids. So I'm not sure. I did not hear anything that you said it came on monthly. I said You're always right when you blame Zach.
We talk a little less.
How would you communicate with him?
Phone, text message, Facebook Messenger.
And did there come to be a time frame where you were not able to get in touch with him?
Yes.
And when was that?
The first time I was not able to get a hold of him was December of 2015. I believe it was December 4th.
And was it unusual for him to not respond to you?
For this particular message, yes.
Okay. And what was that message about?
My mother had become very sick.
All right, sidebar, please.
Oh. At the sidebar, the standing sidebar, the defense is stupid, the offense is stupid.
Why was it unusual to not get a response to that message in December of 2015?
My mother was sick. She was in the hospital. We were not sure if she was going to make it or not. And Michael and my mother were always very, very close. And I sent a message saying that he was very sick. I never got a response. So I did reach out to Laurie, who I did get a response from.
And did she tell you anything about Michael's whereabouts?
All she told me was that she would tell Michael that my mother was sick.
Did you ever hear anything from Michael after you reached out to him about his mother's sickness?
No.
Did you reach out either through phone, text, or Facebook message after that in order to check in on Mr. Shaver?
Yes, I did at various times, and I would not receive any response.
Have you seen or spoken to Michael Shaver since November of 2015?
No, I have not.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Wiggs?
Ms. Turner, did you witness any homicide?
No, I did not. I live in New York, and they lived in Florida.
Okay. You don't know what happened there or any homicide?
No, I don't.
Correct.
No.
You never saw any altercation, correct?
I never saw any, no.
Okay. So here you're here testifying as to a timeline when you last spoke to what you believe you spoke to was your brother.
Yes.
Find a
You don't
microphone.
know where any communique was sent or received, correct?
No, no, sir.
You don't know who received it, correct?
Who received the messages that I sent?
Correct.
No, I do not.
Okay. You don't know where it was received, do you?
No, I do not. I sent it to the number I had for Michael.
Right. You don't know whether any device was hacked, correct?
No, I do not.
You don't know whether somebody within the residence may have been using the same router,
No, I do not.
right? Thank you.
All right, thank you, State.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, thank you for appearing today. You're released from further testimony. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
The state calls Scott Amatuccio.
Hey, T-Rex. Yeah. He's a member of the non-mic cult.
All right, good morning. Please come up to the witness stand. Please be seated and make yourself comfortable. Let me know when you're ready to proceed. And please state and spell your full legal name.
Scott Amatuccio, SCOTT-AMATUCCIO.
Please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall
Marissa,
be the truth,
don't
whole
treat
truth,
him
and
like,
nothing but the
you
truth,
treat
so
your
help you
fool guy.
God?
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Did you know Michael Shaver?
Yes.
How did you know Michael?
We were best friends.
And when did you first meet Michael?
It's about second grade.
And where were you all living at this time?
In a small town, Lawrence, New York.
And what about Laurie Shaver? When did you first meet her?
We had all known each other since about kindergarten. We all went to the same K through 12 school. I didn't really start to hang out with her until they started to date.
When did Michael and Laurie first start dating?
It was about 8th grade.
And specifically, were you present when they first got together?
Yes, he asked her out in my bedroom.
Okay. And did he make any special requests to you at that time?
Yeah, he had me play Boys to Men in the background.
Hey
Now,
there.
did you maintain a relationship with them after everyone graduated high school?
I did.
And did you stay in New York after high school?
Yes, there was periods of time where I moved to Florida, moved back to New York, moved back to Florida.
Okay. What about Michael and Laurie? Did they maintain their relationship after high school?
Yes.
And did you maintain your friendship with both of them?
Yes.
And did they stay in New York? What did they do?
We all tended to kind of follow each other around. It's just how it worked out. So, I would live in New York and they happened to be in New York. I moved to Florida. Eventually they would move to Florida. It just happened to work out that way. Eventually we all settled down in Florida.
And when they were living in Claremont, Florida, where were you living?
Gainesville, Florida, for most of that time. And then I had moved to St. Petersburg, Florida toward the end.
Now, at some point, did you start dating a woman by the name of Katina Vasquez?
I did.
When did that relationship start?
That started about 2000 and it's been so long, 2006, 2007, that time frame.
Where did that relationship begin?
New York.
And at some
Ladies, before you get all moist o'clock in Las Canas Tunas, just notice how much padding he has to get those shoulders. He's a little thing. He could probably fit in a suitcase. I'm just telling you, don't waste your saliva on this fella. He's a small little one. It's not a well-fitted suit. It's just because he has a lot of padding, so it looks good. Because he has the shoulders of a 14-year-old girl.
point, were you and Katina engaged?
Yes.
And did she come with you and move down to Florida in one of these time frames where you were living down here, Michael and Laurie were living down here?
Yes.
And when they came down, did Katina and Laurie become friends with each other?
They did. They became close friends.
Now, I want to move to March of 2015. Were you still dating Katina at that time?
March 2015, no.
Was there, after you and Katina ended your relationship, did she maintain a friendship with Laurie Shaver?
She did.
Now, going back to that March of 2015, was there a time frame that Michael Shaver came to visit you at your home after the breakup with Katina?
Yes, if I recall, that was November of 2014.
Okay. I apologize about mix up on the dates. When was the status of the relationship between Mike and Laurie at that time?
He didn't really talk too much about how their relationship was. I could tell there was some tension and they were on and off. I don't believe they were dating at that time.
Object as speculation as to the emotional feelings and mental processes of another individual.
Sustained.
Did you see him in July of that year?
I did, July 2015.
Where was that?
At his house.
And was this the last time you ever saw him in person?
It is.
After November of 2015, did you speak to him by phone or have any other personal communication with him?
No.
Did you attempt to reach out to him between November of 2015 and 2018?
A few texts, and that's it.
Did he ever respond to any of your texts or attempts? Now, in 2018, did you have a conversation with Katina that she had about a visit to the residence in November of 2015?
Yeah, that conversation was actually that was toward the end of 2017, maybe early 2018. It was right after my then relationship had ended. That's how I can pinpoint that.
And did the information that you got give you further concern about Michael Shaver and his safety?
Absolutely.
Once you got that information, what did you do?
I first messaged, excuse me, I messaged Mike's sister on Facebook, told her what I had found out. I told her I'm going to file a missing person report based on that information. It was disturbing. I then called the sheriff's office.
And
I'm writing that
have
one
you
down for
talked
the lady.
with Michael Shaver's family about their inability to get in contact with Mr. Shaver during this period as well?
I did.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Wiggs?
Yes, do you know about any injunctions that have been imposed against Michael Shaver?
I knew of one.
Okay, what was that?
2014, 2015, somewhere around there. I don't know the specific details of that.
A direct examination, we heard you recall dates pretty quickly, correct? Pretty specifically, correct?
Yes.
You remember an injunction, but you think it may be 14, maybe 15, correct?
Correct.
But you know there was an injunction, correct? All right. So Michael was not in the house for a certain period of time you were aware of, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know where any messages came from?
I know there were, I had never received any messages
And when a Florida woman talks about suitcases, she knows what she's talking about.
from Mike.
Okay. When was the last day you received a message, and do you know where it came from?
He's kind of like a discount. Who's the guy who was married to Sofia Vergara? Joe Mackley Gano something. The guy from Magic Mike. Well, you all know what I'm talking about. He's kind of like a discount version of that one.
It would have been that around that time that was I had last seen him at his house, and I had never heard from him after that.
Okay. Did you witness a homicide in this case?
No.
Do you know where Mike was the last 24 hours of his life?
No.
Do you know what Mike was doing in the last 24 hours of his life?
No.
Do you know any altercation, anybody that was involved with Mike?
No.
Thank you.
State,
Nothing further, Judge.
and may the witness be released from a subpoena.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for appearing today. You're released from further testimony. Have a good day.
State calls Corey Anderson.
Joe Manganiello. Yeah, that's the name. Yeah, that's why I had such a bad back when I came home from Tennessee. She kept surprising me, trying to stuff me into a suitcase, saying, "You're going home with me. Alligator needs food." It was a weird moment. A man of little words. Well, a little man of words.
I apologize. Has he been sworn?
Right. Please state your full legal name. And,
Corey Stephen Anderson.
okay, please spell your name as well.
CORYSTEVEN
Holy man.
ANDERSON.
Okay, and please raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Please introduce yourself to the jury.
My name is Corey Anderson, and I'm employed with the Lake County Sheriff's Office
And how long have you worked with the sheriff's office?
since 2005, so it's about 19 years.
Your current division or assignment?
Right now, I'm a corporal. It's a first-line supervisor in the Special Investigations Bureau.
And back in 2018, what was your position?
I was a corporal on road patrol, where I supervised the shift in the south end of the Lake County.
And as a corporal over road patrol, what were your duties?
So supervising this 5 to 7 deputies on your shift, approving the reports, responding to in progress or important calls that desire a supervisor's presence to be there.
Before we get into your involvement in this case, let me ask you, what is a well-being check?
So a well-being check is anybody can call the sheriff's office if they haven't spoke to a loved one or a friend or a neighbor. They can have the sheriff's office go out and acquire to ascertain the safety of the person that they're trying to get a hold of.
And in February, were you tasked with performing a well-being check on Michael Shaver?
Yes, sir.
And as a part of that, where did you go?
So I went to the Sandy Pines Road in Claremont.
Was that in Lake County?
That is in Lake County, yes, sir.
And was that the last known residence of Michael Shaver?
Correct.
And who all was?
No, the little light that shows up is when they turn on the white noise when they do sidebars.
There that you get in contact with at that time.
So myself and Deputy Kyle Morrison.
Yeah, no matter that the audio is crap and they are just speed running through all the witnesses. That's the good thing. They don't ask those 45-minute questions about what, if any, tire pressure did you have in your tires, like a certain someone we watched.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Who did you make contact with at the Shaver residence?
Oh, I'm sorry. I made contact with Miss Laurie Shaver.
And do you see her and recognize her in court today?
Yes, sir, I do.
And then can you please point her out and identify her by something that
she's wearing a tan jacket.
And when you got there, did you tell her why?
I did.
And did you ask about her?
I did, sir.
What did she? Where did she tell you much?
She said that she hasn't seen him since I think October of 2014, and that he kind of just absconded the family.
Okay. And did she mention to you if she had any phone or text contact with him since then?
She did mention that he had not reached out to the children or her in some time.
Did you ask her if it was okay to look in the backyard?
Yes, sir, I did.
And why were you interested in the backyard?
Part of the information that we received on the well-being check was that there was a new cement slab.
John, can we approve?
Come on up to the sideboard. Thank
So he's there to talk about the slab.
Did you go into the backyard?
Yes, sir, I did. I observed a cement slab in the backyard where there was, it looked to be like brick rock structure that created the fire pit.
Now, in the course of your law enforcement career, have you responded to scenes that involved bodies buried in shallow graves?
Yes, sir, I have.
And approximately how many times have you went out and made those types of observations?
I've been on those scenes, probably between 5 and 10 scenes similar to that. Yes, sir.
And was there anything that you saw about the cement slab itself that gave you some concerns?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
So as I approached the cement slab, you could clearly see a depression that was approximately between 6 feet and 3 feet in dimension and about 8 inches depressed. It had the shape of what could be a normal sized adult body.
Did you take photographs of that cement slab at that time?
Yes, sir, I did.
How did you do
with my cell phone.
that? Defense what has been previously been marked as State Exhibit Z.
Yes, sir.
I'm showing witness what has previously been marked as State Exhibit Z. Do you recognize those photographs?
Yes, sir. I took these photographs with my phone.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the cement slab as you saw it the day that you were out there with Ms. Shaver?
Yes, sir.
All right, this time the state moves states Z into evidence as states number 15.
Objection.
Without objection, state C will be moved into evidence as states number 15.
I'm sorry, I skipped. It should be 14.
14. Okay, states number 4. Z will be admitted into evidence as states number 14.
request permission to publish.
Granted.
Now, Corporal Anderson, is this the first photograph that's in states number 14? Yeah, it's right.
Yes, sir. It is.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, can you step down and just demonstrate to the jury the area that gave you pause and concern when you were out there?
I'm here.
Yes.
Okay.
And be careful, if you touch that screen, it's a touch screen, it may advance on you.
Sure, I understand. So obviously I took this picture, so I'm really standing right here looking at the cement slab. I believe Ms. Shaver was on my left and Deputy Morrison was across from me. As I approached, with permission to be on the property, I just snapped a few shots with my cell phone so that I could really portray what I'm actually seeing to supervisors, to the Criminal Investigation Bureau for further investigation.
I'll advance to the second photograph. Is this the other photograph that you took?
Correct, yes, sir.
Now, can you show the jury the area of that depression that you previously described?
So this darkened area is the depression. So it was about 6 feet in length and about 3 feet in width. And it appears to be like a makeshift cement slab where it wouldn't be as thick and could have a depression if there was a shallow grave there.
And when we're talking about a depression, are you saying that it was not flat across?
Correct. So you could actually see where that darkening area is, where it was depressed and water would settle there, which is brought the dirt that stays in that area.
And just to make sure everyone's clear, can you just point to the area on that slide that shows this depression?
This is the depression area.
Thank you.
Darkening area.
Now, after these observations were made by you, did the sheriff's office obtain a search warrant to further search that area and the backyard of the Shaver residence?
Yes, sir.
And were you involved in the actual excavation of that area?
I was not actually involved in the excavation, but I was on scene for scene security. So basically keeping the media away from the Shaver residence, just so that we can maintain our
between the time frame that the scene, when you made those observations, did the sheriff's office maintain security with this scene until it was searched?
Yes, sir, they did.
And when we talk about maintaining that scene or securing it, what does that entail?
So it was 24-hour security where a deputy sheriff sat out in front of the property, and it was 12-hour shifts. So we had 24-hour coverage on that property until we secured that search warrant.
And during that time frame, were you able to maintain visual sight on this area, this cement slab? Not you personally, but they would be in position to observe it and maintain and make sure the property had not been changed.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, Mr. Wiggs?
Yes, thank you, Judge.
Corporal, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, do you know what this ground looked like prior to this concrete being laid?
I don't, sir.
Okay. Do you know if this would have been dug out and it created a natural inclination for the concrete to be placed there?
I do remember Mrs. Shaver stating that prior to Mr. Shaver leaving, they were going to create some type of duck pond, but they didn't.
You have a little more experience in law enforcement investigations than a lot of people, correct?
Some.
Okay. Some. Okay. You made it to the status of a corporal, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this dark spot led you to believe there may be a body under there, correct?
A shallow grave for sure, but
okay,
not necessarily a body.
Okay. We see a dark spot over there, correct?
I do, yes, sir.
Was there a body over there?
Not in that specific area, no, sir.
Okay. We see shading back in here. Was there any evidence of a crime there?
I didn't see any, no, sir.
Okay. We see shadow areas throughout this, around these posts and stuff. Was there any evidence of a crime or a bone or a body under any of those locations?
No, sir.
Okay.
I don't know what stock is this.
Now, when y'all were out there doing the excavating, Miss Shaver remained there at the residence, correct?
For most of the time, she was free to leave.
Yeah, did she leave?
She did.
She did. Did she try to take flight in any manner, not return to the property?
No, sir.
Okay. One moment, please.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't
All
need
right,
proof.
and may the witness be released from the subpoena.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for appearing today. You're released from further testimony. Have
I
a
like
good
my
day.
food once.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Remind us of La Lalas de Tuna.
Your Honor, can we approach?
Yes, sir. Come on up.
Oh. Yeah, irrelevant since the body was found there, but okay, the defense is stretching so far, it's going to take him a long time to walk back. Again, did you find anything under that spot? No. Why look there? Well, it kind of made us wonder was under there, and we found a body there. Yeah, but you didn't look the other place. No. Do you want us to go back, dig all of it up, and find out that she unalived 14 other people, or what is this guy implying? They are moving really fast. I think we're past 10 witnesses so far. Aldi's tuna in a can is the worst. I don't buy much tuna in the can. Jessica Simpson, but is it a fish or is it chicken? I remember that one. It's almost as good as the. I believe that education is very important, and because Asia and Africa, I think maybe, I believe, especially education is important. Hey, Tash! Thank you so much. That cross might be more relevant if he was contesting the validity of the search warrant. Yes. Yes, but he wasn't. It feels like he's just throwing darts at the board.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Attorney Camuccio is setting up a disc containing the perpetuated testimony of witness Jessica Holcomb. That video, that disc will not be in evidence. You will not be able to bring the disc and rewatch the video, so please pay special attention to the video, as you will not be able to watch it again. The testimony is the same as any other witness. So if you wish, please take notes.
Can we please see this video information this time then? I knew an improved Laurie kissed tuna. It tastes and as bad as it smells. It's only been around the block a few times. Yeah, Gargamel. No, it's the lady from the Miss Universe. I believe education is very important for and Korea and Iraq, and world peace might be geography in Africa. I love that lady. She was on with that guy from Saved by the Bell the other day. Talk about it. It's like 15 or 25 years since she made a fool of herself. So she was a peach, as they call him down south. Finally, Skybells arrived.
Please, you have the same call, Jessica. Hey, Jessica Holcomb.
I personally believe U.S. Americans should have maps. It's the I personally believe. Come on. She was also in Amazing Race. No one really watched that show. We had a show where people, I think it was a knockoff of that, and it was just annoying. But she's kind of like the thing, like politicians being prepared for a debate by spin doctors, and they can't get out of the, I have these prepared notes, I must say them. But we didn't ask you that, but I personally believe she has been out on bail for a long time. $53,000 bail.
Say, for purposes of calculation, you want to say call Jessica Holden. Hey, Jessica Holden.
Show us the screen. Thank you. Don't show us her. Oh, that's a bold leopard print. Where's Brandy? Where's Brandy?
Please come up to the witness stand. Please make yourself comfortable and let me know when you're ready to go.
Brandy. Stop showing the family. Brandy.
All right, please state the record and raise your right hand.
And it's Jessica Merritt Holden.
And you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, thank you. Please proceed.
Well, nothing other than the defense showing their strategy, which none of us understands. Most of it is just he didn't have a close connection to his family, is what we got, and his friend thought it was weird the messages he sent them.
Thank you, Ms. Holcomb, what do you do for a living now?
I am a crime scene investigator and evidence technician at the Desiree Police Department.
What do you do there on a day-to-day basis?
Mainly, I deal with the evidence sections, and then I am also on call for a crime scene.
How long have you worked in Severity's PD?
Approximately a little over a year now.
Where did you work before that?
At the Lake County Sheriff's Office.
What did you do for the Lake County Sheriff's Office?
I was a crime scene investigator.
How long did you do that job for Lake County?
I was there approximately 12 years.
What, did you have the same general duties and responsibilities at Lake County as you do now at Severity's Police Department?
At Lake County, my main focus was crime scene.
Can you describe your training and experience that allows you to do the job of a crime scene investigator?
I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I have a master's degree in criminal justice with a focus on forensics studies. On-the-job training for all the years I've been in this field. Just basically hands-on, multiple scenes. I think I've been to over 600 crime scenes throughout my career.
During the course of your training and experience and seminars you've gone to, are you trained in how to collect different types of evidence?
Yes.
Right. May I direct your attention to March 9th and March 10th of 2018. Did you assist in the excavation of some human remains located at 9850 Sandy Pines Road, Claremont?
Yes.
Was crime scene investigator Jessica Wade also present and involved in the excavation process?
Yes.
I plan on asking Jessica Wade more detailed questions about the step-by-step excavation process.
No explanation.
And what was found. So I'm going to ask you some general questions about some evidence you actually collected. Okay? During the excavation process, were human remains eventually discovered?
Yes.
Briefly, can you describe how you came about to locate those human remains?
At the end of the first day, we came across a humerus bone it was underneath a fire pit. The fire pit had been broken up in order for us to be able to locate that first initial phone the light was receiving for that day. So we closed down the site, secured it, picked up the excavation the following morning, started digging again. And then it became hard.
What happened?
Yes. You mentioned blue tarp.
Yes.
Showing you Martin states as an A for identification. Take a look at this item. Look at it like restaurant. First of all, is that item sealed?
Yes.
What do you mean by sealed?
It is a brown paper bag sealed with evidence tape, and it has my handwriting on it, describing what's inside.
Can you describe the process you go through when you actually find a piece of evidence, collect it, place it in the bag, and seal it?
So when we find anything of evidentiary value, we denote it. Basically, we photograph, video, anything to document it on scene. We put gloves on, we collect it in a manner that's deemed appropriate, and then we'll get the appropriate collection packaging, in this case, a large brown bag, and then put it in the packaging, and then we'll seal it.
So this large brown bag that I just handed you, can you open it up, look inside, tell me if you recognize the contents?
Yes.
Look next to you.
I just checked with Brandy's Twitter. Apparently, the screen is pulled up all the way in front of the jury box. No one in court other than the jury can see the screen. It makes for riveting streaming. I could get Jamie on if I wanted to hear someone type on a keyboard. Oh, she's opening the brown bag.
Ended up separating different quadrants when we're processing it later date. This is labeled quadrant B. This one. Yeah, this is going to be the same blue part that's located.
Except for the additional processing that you have just described, does it appear to be the same or substantially the same condition as when you collected it during the excavation process?
Yes.
This time you're going to state with states A and the evidence is states 1.
They will remove the evidence, it's number one without objection.
Hey, Brandy. Brandy, while we have you, can you go in there, slap everyone above the face and say, fix the audio. This is a microphone. Every grifter on YouTube knows how to use it. You have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to become lawyers. Use the microphone, and then go up there and slap the judge and say, "Can you make them show us the evidence?" And then double slap the defense lawyer and say, "Could you please put on a defense instead of just yelling at the family saying you weren't there?" This is infuriating. But I hope you're having a good time in trial and it's not as hot as yesterday and your back isn't sore. And thank you so much for dropping in yesterday, giving us the 411. Yeah, that's, Yeah, make sure someone videos it. I'll cover the trial when she goes to prison for slapping the judge. They have the screen facing the jury, so we can't even see it from the gallery. Yeah, it really makes up for an interesting streaming. And no audio. The audio is so bad, it sounds like it's a Transformer movie by Michael Bay. Yeah, there's just those couple little things. No biggie. Yeah, and tell Gargamel to stop hunting the Smurfs.
You mentioned that I was taken back to the lab at a later time and processed further. Yes. What exactly you said was cut in quadrants? Yes. Explain what that process was.
Well, it's a relatively larger part, so we didn't lay it all out, document it. We didn't cut it into smaller quadrants in order to process it further. We looked at it from ALS, an alternate light source, and then we also processed it for latent fingerprints. We did find hair-like fibers on a couple of different quadrants that we collected, and then there was a defect.
So you're sitting in heat because there's no snow in Canton. I learned that from Lally. What he calls a snowstorm is what we in Denmark call maybe a little drizzle.
That we found in one particular area that was of interest that we did cut away and collect as well as part.
Brandy, can you confirm or not confirm that the best friend was a manlet, that he had more shoulder pads than shoulders? The lady were getting a little unruly in chat.
That feedback in the area cut away in the approach game drawer? Yes, sir. Showing us the marking spaces of B as in boy. You take a look at that item. Is it also sealed?
Yes, it is. With my handwriting on the envelope.
Now we have back opening and we can't even watch back opening.
Yes, that's appears to be the piece that we cut away from the target.
Is it the same substantial, the same condition when you process it and cut it away?
Yes.
This time state move B into evidence as 6-2.
Have a wonderful day in court, and in the lunch break, go get you something to heat you up, and not that man bun detective. That was a little dick at ladies in Florida who likes men with man buns.
Any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, State C will be making the evidence of State's number 2.
Now, during the excavation process, once you removed that blue tarp that you just looked at, what was found underneath?
So the human remains were found underneath. At the very beginning, we saw the skull. There was a green strap winch around the remains as well, and there was also appeared to be like a piece of fabric, like a tag with an elastic band, almost like a fitted sheet. The elastic from a fitted sheet left on the remains as well.
Was a Tupperware used in this excavation process around this period of time when you're uncovering the remains?
Yes, there's were used to collect the smaller bones during the excavation process, and then as well for all the debris and the remnants that were collected near the remains.
When you put those remnants you just described into that Tupperware, did you collect that Tupperware, that green nylon strap, as well as that piece of elastic?
Yes.
Any questions, Andrew?
Yes, sir.
Any Mark states that is this item also sealed?
Yes.
You can open it up, take a look, and if you recognize the contents.
Yes.
What's inside?
The strap, yes, Tupperware and
Substantially the same condition as when you collected it during an excavation process.
yes.
This time state move E, the evidence is stage 3.
About 60, believe the evidence has 603.
Did you also locate some clothing during the process?
We did.
Can you describe what kind of clothing you had?
So on the remains, there were socks, some boxers, and brown or black shorts.
And did you collect those clothing items as well?
Yes.
Can you explain how you collected those items?
So when the remains were removed from the ground, the medical examiner, the forensic investigator, and Dr. Sutton, they were basically in control of the remains. They were basically had sheets laid out where they were identifying certain bones and trying to lay out what pieces were there. So during that process, they were taking the bones and kind of sorting them out, and they were taking the clothing, and we had the bags and whatnot for collection waiting. So they would just drop the clothing in the bags, and then we would take the bags and seal them.
Showing us Marcus states that D is in dog. You mentioned you collected some boxers and some shorts.
Yes.
Can you take a look at that item and tell me if you recognize it? Broken up during the excavation process.
Yes.
Did you examine that fire pit?
Yes.
Did you locate anything, a piece of flooring in that fire pit?
Yes.
Describe that.
It's a piece of what appeared to be laminate flooring, like a wooden parquet design.
Did you collect that piece of evidence?
Yes.
Showing was the Marcus States Exhibit F. It's in frame. You recognize that item?
This is my handwriting on the automatic.
Like the other items, is that also sealed?
It is. Yes, this is what was collected on scene. Yes.
Is it the same substantially the same conditions when you collected it?
Yes.
This time state move F. It's in frame and evidence of state 6.
Any objection? States F will be moved into evidence of states number 6. Without objection.
In direct attention to later on in the afternoon on March 10th, 2018, did you make contact with a man named Douglas Shaver?
Yes, I did.
Where?
Out front on the residence.
In front of the same property and residence that you have been excavating?
Yes.
And how did that come about? How did it come that you had contact with Mr. Shaver?
I was informed by one of the detectives that he was out front.
And who was Douglas Shaver in relation to?
Carla Brukowski, I'm sitting here getting angry because we can't see the evidence, and again, it's not for the viewing audience, but again, then it is an open court. Brandy is in the courtroom and can't see anything either. Special K, yes, he is really, really annoying.
To Michael Shaver.
His father.
Correct. Did you take a photograph of Mr. Shaver when you made contact with him?
I did.
Showing those marked spaces of H for identification. You recognize the person in that photograph?
Yes, that's that issue. Yes, I took that photograph.
This is fairly inaccurately depicting what Doug Shaver looked like at the time.
Yes.
This time, Shaver moved H into evidence to states 7, I believe.
Yes, sir, state 7. Any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, states that H will be admitted into evidence as states number 7.
Did you collect any evidence from Mr. Douglas Shaver?
Yes.
What did you collect?
I did fecal swabs.
And what is a bubble swab?
So those swabs are taken for identification purposes. It's basically a swab taken from the interior lining of the cheek.
And how do you go about doing it? What do you use to take the swab?
Basically, just 2 swabs, gloves on, take the swabs, rotate the swab around the inner lining of the cheek, put it in a swab box, and then I seal it in an envelope.
Is the swab kind of like a Q-tip?
Yes.
Was Mr. Douglas Shaver cooperative with that procedure?
Yes.
And once you collected those swabs from Mr. Douglas Shaver's cheeks, what did you do with the actual swabs?
I put them in an envelope, sealed them, and locked them in my vehicle for just collection purposes, and then took them back to the lab.
Yes. Showing you specific G for identification. Do you recognize that item?
Yes.
No, but we know from Brandy that the screen is just in front of the jury box. No one in the courtroom can see anything other than the jury.
It has my handwriting on the envelope, and it's sealed.
Inside, how you recognize the contents?
I think we're going to go to lunch when this is done, so at least we can look forward to that. During lunchtime, there will be word track for those of you who like word tracks too.
Yes, this is the swab box I wrote out with the swabs inside.
For the rest of you, we will be putting on Twitter and Discord when we come back.
Any objection? Without objection, states G will be moved into evidence as states number 8.
You don't normally do it in court, only if it's graphic, like an autopsy and stuff like that. We had Facebook messages that wasn't shown, which is absolutely BS.
Were those swabs that you let from Mr. Douglas Shaver sent to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for future analysis?
Yes.
Did you have any involvement in that actual analysis done in Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
No.
Did you testify to today in Lake County?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. No other questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Wiggs. Yes, sir.
Officer, you go by deputy or officer now?
I'm not sworn, so investigator's fine.
Okay. Have you ever been a sworn law enforcement officer?
No, I haven't.
Okay. But you investigate crimes?
I do.
So let me ask one question, please. I don't want you to interrupt, okay, if you would, please. Is there a reason you left the Lake County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, Your Honor, relevance.
All right, come on up for silent. All right, please proceed.
Going to Tiberias Police Department, was that a promotion?
And sword test.
Okay. Well, did you receive more pay over there?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Ma'am, do you have anything that has affected your ability to perform your functions?
No.
Okay. Have any health reasons?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
When did you get involved in this case?
when I was given the call that I needed to respond.
Okay. Who called you?
I'd have to refer to my report, but I believe that we were told that there was a staging area the day before and that we had to proceed to the staging area. So I knew that we had to report to the staging area, so we all showed up there. Search warrant was supposed to be given that day, and then we all were supposed to proceed to the property.
Okay. Let's talk about some of your testimony. You testified you found the blue tarp.
She is on a video deposition. I don't know if what if anything had happened to her, but it's a video deposition.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
This question is on a video deposition, so it's the same lawyers that you see in the courtroom. She can be indisposed, she can be off the planet. There's all kinds of ways they need a video deposition, but it's just the same thing like her being in the courtroom. They get all the questions, they get all the objections and all of the stuff.
And do you know where that blue tarp came from?
Ground.
Okay. Do you know who manufactured that blue tarp?
No.
Okay. Did you do anything to see who had it? Not a true question. Did you do anything in your investigation to see who manufactured that tarp?
I don't believe there's a tag on it, or if there was, it wasn't legible. No.
Okay. So I think that would be a no, correct?
That's what you said, sir. No.
Okay. Now, did you find on that tarp any DNA associated with Laurie Shaver?
I personally didn't know.
Okay. Do you know if anybody did?
No.
Okay. Did you find any, or do you know if anybody found any blood on that tarp associated with Laurie Shaver?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Do you know, you spoke about some hairs that were found
Yes.
within your investigation. Do you know if anybody was able to link up any hair within that investigation, within the evidence that you collected that could be linked to Laurie Shaver?
I collected it. I don't know what the results were.
Okay. There was a strap you testified about, correct? Could you describe the strap?
It was a green nylon strap, a strap wrench that went kind of wedged back and forth to tighten.
Okay, a strap wrench, correct. Is this used to tighten straps that you may use on a vehicle or a boat?
Tie down, something like that, yes.
Okay. Did you see a vehicle that in any manner you could link it had come out of?
You could use it for any type of vehicles or any application, but they're very common.
Okay. In your investigation, whatever you did, other than what you testified to, were you able to link that strap to the residence of Laurie Shaver?
My job would be to collect it, so you have to ask my detectives.
Okay. Do you have any personal knowledge whether or not that wrench or any of the straps could be connected to the residence of Laurie Shaver?
No.
There was some flooring you spoke about.
Yes.
Okay. Would you describe the flooring?
Like I said earlier, it's a piece of wood flooring, parquet design.
Okay. Could that be linked to Laurie Shaver to your personal knowledge?
I was informed that there had been remodeling done before I collected it on scene.
And who did the remodeling?
I was informed that Laurie did the remodeling.
Okay. Do you know if anybody else did any remodeling on that scene?
No.
Okay. Any photos are, you moved through you and evidence a photo of Doug Shaver.
Yes.
You know where Mr. Shaver resides?
It was in another state.
Okay. And you were at the scene that Mr. Shaver, he didn't just surreptitiously show up, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Somebody from law enforcement had contacted Mr. Shaver, correct?
Correct.
Was Mr. Shaver advised that y'all wanted your office wanted DNA from him?
I was just informed he was outside and I needed to collect DNA from him, so.
And who told you that, or advised you
One
that?
of the detectives on scene.
Who was that?
I can't recall the exact detective because there was a lot going on that day.
Okay. Now, you testified that Mr. Shaver was found in the middle of the concrete fire pit, correct?
Well, underneath it.
Well, you testified on direct examination he was in the middle of the concrete pad. Did you not?
Well, I said underneath it.
Okay. Did you? So you don't recall saying he was in the middle of it?
I didn't say the exact middle of it. I said
Okay. So let's specifically, through your testimony, you tell me where he was underneath that pad to some degree of certainty.
So the fire pit had to be removed in order for us to access the remains. That's what I said, sir.
Okay. Now, where was he underneath the fire pit? Do you have any degree of specificity you could let the court?
So the fire pit was not a complete circle. It was a very irregular shape. pretty much stayed with Africa. There was a point jutting down towards the residence. I want to say off to the left earlobe.
Did she say that concrete slab looked like Africa? Then she's worse at geography than the expert.
Towards the point would have been probably the location we found him.
Ralphie, you missed that Las Lalas de Tuna became moist with the previous victim.
There were initials on the fire pit.
Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Near the edge of the pit?
There were initials on the fire pit, and they were probably pretty close underneath where the initials were.
Okay. Which portion was he near the edge of the pit?
To the left hand, lobe, if you're at the residence looking out towards the field.
Now, you recovered some socks from the pit, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did you recover any items that were...
I learned a new Spanish word.
Such as women's lingerie or anything of that nature?
No, the clothing that was recovered was on the remains. So.
Okay. I'm not asking you what was on the remains. I'm asking you, did you recover any items that were... Let me ask my question, please. Did you find any items that were linked, that constituted women clothing?
No.
Okay. Did you locate any items wherein somebody may have wiped their hands that contained blood or any substance from another person's body?
Anything that was on or around or near the remains we collected.
That's not my question. Did you recover any items, independent of the socks, the blue tarp, the boxers, the strap, the flooring, that constituted independent items that somebody may have used to bury the body, where they may have wiped their hands or their own?
Yes, he was asking about women's clothing or lingerie or something like that.
Body with it.
Those are all items I collected.
Did you collect something independent of what you testified to?
No.
Okay. Then you would agree there was no items of Laurie Shaver that were linked to this crime?
If the body had been there for 2 years, I have no idea what could have degraded or decomposed at that point.
So you know that body's been there for 2 years?
Per the medical examiner, that was what they had told us.
That's what they told you. Who told you that?
I just said the medical examiner.
Okay. His name?
The medical examiner, I'd have to refer to my notes, but the one that examined the body and actually did examine the bones.
Okay. You would agree, ma'am, on direct examination, you had your answers, correct?
Yes.
But now you're saying you'd have to refer to some notes, correct?
Oh.
To find out what the exact medical examiner was in 2018, yes, I would.
Yeah, but you don't have any independent recollection of that.
To find out who exactly that medical examiner was in 2018 for this particular case, I would have to refer my notes, yes.
But you recall that this medical examiner had advised you that that body had been in the ground for 2 years?
Yes.
Okay. And out of the evidence that you recovered, we know from your testimony and what you've done in this case, there was no DNA associated with Laurie Shaver on any of that evidence, correct?
I don't believe so.
Okay. There was no prints on any of that evidence associated with Laurie Shaver, correct?
I don't believe so.
And the
Other than
character of the evidence,
it's being in
none
her
of it linked to any items within the household, correct?
You'd have to ask the detectives about that.
Okay, you don't have any independent recollection of that, do you?
Well, my job is to document and collect evidence on scene. I'm not there to investigate and go further.
Okay, but you spoke to the medical examiner. You remember that testimony, right?
Well, a lot of times I am there at the autopsy or I do hear things, yes.
Okay. One moment, please, Judge.
Yes.
Yes, please be done now.
Aside from the collection of the evidence that you just spoke about, did you do anything else on this case?
Yeah.
That's all I have. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wicks. Mr. Buster?
No question, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And witness step down from the witness. Release from her subpoena.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for appearing today. You're released for further testimony. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the submit the disc for that perpetuation as a court exhibit, not as evidence.
Yes, sir. So it will be submitted as a court exhibit. Thank you. All right, at this time, it is about 10 minutes after noon, and this will be a good time to take our lunch break. So please return by 1:30. Please return to the jury assembly room. Please do not discuss the case with each other or anyone else for that matter. Again, should you see the attorneys outside of the courtroom, they have been instructed to ignore you. Please do not hold that against them. Please do not view any media concerning the case. Please do not conduct any research concerning the case. All right, thank you, and we'll see you back at 1:30.
So 1:30 will be the time where we start up again. And hopefully word crack works today, because it's been a long time since we had a little bit of word crack on the stream. I should share it so people can see it. Yes, let's check out and see if it works today. For those of you who are new to my live streaming, instead of shutting down the stream, going away, coming back, set up a new stream because I'm lazy, I put on word crack so people can sit here, play the game. I play some music. I go make some food because it's dinner time, my time. And come on, work. Come on. Come on. Don't do this to me again. I'm going to try it again. Stupid system. Nope. Log out. YouTube. This channel. Continue. Start. Share. Start. Hopefully it works. So else I'll shut it down because there's an hour and 15 minutes till we're back. Why doesn't it work today? Come on. Work. It doesn't work. Well, that's annoying. Why is it work crack doesn't work? Let me try to fix it again. Close that down. Update that. Open a new. Put it in. Word crack. Open that up. Go for YouTube. Go for this account. Add to that account. Continue. Present, share screen, words on screen, add to stage. Come on now. Why must you be so stupid? Log out. Update. YouTube. Oh. Yes, Marcia Braga. WordCrack doesn't work today. I'm sorry. So I will be going back. I'll put it back to the beginning of the stream. This case is about a man gone missing in 2015. His wife tells friends that he moved to Georgia, left him and the kids. People he works with gets text messages. They have been testifying today. They found it weird. His family hasn't really been in contact with him. They didn't really have contact with him much before anyway. But now he just drops off the planet. She has had quite a few gentleman suitors around the time she was married, after she was married, and she's remarried now without ever being divorced from Michael. In 2018, there's a wellness check done at the house where they see an indent in a poured concrete slab around the fire pit that kind of fits the size of a human body. So they ask for permission to go and look at the place with a cadaver dog. And she says, no, thank you. And then they get a warrant, dig up the slab, find his remains buried 3 feet under the fire pit. She has since then claimed through her lawyer that it's either her boyfriend who did it, her 7-year-old daughter who did it. He is found with a 38 caliber hole in the back of his head. And they claim it's either her boyfriend or her daughter, and now it's a combination of the daughter might think she did it, but it was actually the boyfriend who did it. And at no point has she explained how come Michael's social media kept contacting one of the guys she was effing, his wife. And it's just a weird case. Sadly, the audio is really bad. We don't see the evidence that well. It's actually quite annoying because it's a good case. It's an interesting case. The defense lawyer is absolutely horrendous. I don't like him. But sadly, the audio is really bad in it. But I don't feel like I don't think she's going to make it. So I'm sure. Well, bye, Sue. So no, just for the fun of it, I'm gonna end this stream. I'll be back at 1 hour roughly, because there's no reason to hang out on YouTube. Don't like these long streams anyway. I'm gonna end. Please follow the Twitch chat and the Discord. I'll update. We'll be back at 1:25 probably around that time, and blame Zach because WordCrack doesn't work. It could have been anyone. Oh yeah, by the way, she bought lingerie on his credit card, sent flowers to the other woman. She's a weirdo. Oh, she got a heart tattooed in her no-no parts with one of the boyfriends who was married to another woman who didn't want to be with her, but just used her for a little smexy time. That's a big deep dive you can do in the break. I'm going to go make me some, what are they called? Is it tortilla wraps? And I'll be back in 55 minutes, roughly. No, an hour and 4 minutes. Everyone, pasta la taco. You're getting the short version on the out today, and then I'll set up the stream, and you'll be back in a little bit about an hour, and we'll see what we do.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100. Because it is 100% correct.
Objection, Your Honor. So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.